slap my ass. It's time for conversation with the big guy, pal.
Welcome to Conversation with the Big Guy. I am the Big Guy Ryback, and I'm sitting here with the one, Pat Back.
You know, it's been a long time since you've changed up the introduction.
I was told while in Australia, I did a podcast for a couple guys over there, and two very nice guys, and the first thing they said to me was, we really miss it when you say Pat Buck in different tones every week. So I go, maybe I'll start bringing that back or occasionally just throw it in. And so I did.
Well, my name is Pat Buck, and I'm happy to be here on another episode of Conversation with the Big Guy. You know what I think, too? We're approaching 1 year of podcasting officially, which I don't know if you picked up on last week.
Thanks, asshole. I was just telling you when I listened, because we go back and listen to these and look for little things, and that I was so ashamed of myself as we were talking last week, and I believe you said something along the lines of we're approaching 1 year, 50th episode, which I just completely just went right over the top of my head because the 52nd episode will be the 1 year mark. And
yes, it is.
I said, well, I'm in my head. I feel like we started this in October for some reason, but we didn't.
Why? Why do you think
I
that?
don't know.
You know?
I don't. I just in my head. I don't know why. It just seems like it was October, but it was before that, obviously. Mm-hmm. And I said something along the lines of, "When is the 1 year mark approaching?" or something really. So, any of those hardcore CM Punk fans that tune in for the first time and God, he's dumb as fuck. He was right.
Well, I'm happy to approach 1 year. I do think it would be a little creative. I had this idea. I think we could use a new show open. We've had the same one for about a year or so. Maybe we can get a little creative and change that up because I feel like Crofty or should I say Vince has done a great job, but maybe something new on the horizon.
I'm not against that. I could send a message to the person involved. And get another open. I'm a big fan of Pat Slap My Ass.
Pat slap my ass.
Well, that has its place. Maybe we can get a couple others. Maybe even the Rybuckers out there could send in some interesting ones to, I guess to my email address, or maybe we could play a couple of them. I don't know. Maybe they're creative. Maybe they can think of better stuff than we can.
You never know. I mean, we could put anything up front there. It's. I do like the impersonations, though. They always they make me laugh, and I know there's a lot of people that liked them. So we'll have to look into that. Maybe I'll shoot old Crofty a message and see what he can do. I don't know. Are you looking for another impersonation or something entirely different?
I don't know. Let's just see where it goes. We'll figure out. Hey, let's do this. We 1 year of 1 year. Why not try something new or change it up?
I'm sorry.
What? For 1 year?
For 1 year. I'm sorry. I've drug you into this life that I'm living and exposed you to some of these very mean people in the world. How's that going, by the way, your social media stuff? Because I am happier than ever.
This week, the good outweighed the bad. I noticed. Actually, it'll go nicely into my. You know what? Might as well just segue into it because I was gonna ask you about your week. Maybe I can start off because it has to do with what you asked. Because I did the first Global Force Wrestling live events last week.
Oh wow! How'd that go?
Great. I had a lot of fun. So basically, they Impact, formerly TNA, now Impact, now Global Force Wrestling. They're having their live events. They haven't done them in quite some time. This is the first live event since Jeff has taken over and Anthem and all that jazz. So they were in the New York area, and I have a, friendship, relationship with the company or with Jeff or with the powers that be. Dixie left them in such a bad situation that they kind of have to make up for bad decisions and things that they did in the past. But I think they're doing a good job. So
it takes time. That you don't. It does nothing corrects itself overnight. So it's a matter of turning it around into the right direction and one step at a time. And it's they got a new name, a new brand, and they have a good roster. So hopefully they can start putting these pieces together, and in 5 years from now, it's an entirely different ballgame.
Yeah, and they got a lot of good things going on. So basically, for this show, they were helpful. They know I run here all the time. I've worked with Global Force before they were involved with this thing. So they allowed my school and my promotion to have a match on each card, which was great. And cool. Yeah, really awesome. It just good promotion for all. But when I showed up to the building, the first event was on Long Island. Ironically, it's the same building that you're going to be at in September for my Creative Pro school.
Is that the show, the Feeding Time show, named after me?
Yes, that is.
Oh, cool.
Okay. So basically, anyway, I show up to the building, and the owner there who knows of the building, who knows me and knows the Impact crew, we start chit-chatting about stuff, and he said, yeah, did you read the stuff online about you? And I go, what the fuck are you talking about?
What?
And he's not really a hardcore wrestling fan, mind you. He likes it casually. He reads the dirt sheets a little bit, but he is, he owns a facility out there in Long Island. And I go, what are you talking about? He goes, well, there was rumors that and I read this on Reddit, and apparently I heard that Mike Johnson on PWI reported this, but I didn't see it, that the Global Force shows for Long Island and Staten Island were in danger of shutting down because they didn't have a license for it, and that they were renting my license, and that's illegal, and that people were reporting us for it, and that these shows were in jeopardy. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, I have no idea about this. So basically people took it upon themselves to create then I started reading Twitter, and I'm like, doing what you call the old vanity search, where they're not mentioning you, but you type in your name and you can see stuff. Okay. And people were making a rumor up that Creative Pro was giving the license to Global Force, which I'm like, this isn't true at all. They have their own license. It's not that. Yeah. It's hard to get one, but it's not that they had one prior to, I'm assuming the license came from whatever TNA was to Impact to Global Force. Like it's not impossible. If you're a legit company, you can get one. If you're a regular Joe Schmo, it's a little bit harder. So
how does that even get out? Like, how would something like that even be? How would someone even? Because I feel like most of the kind of fans or the feed me morons or the effing marks or that we call the negative ones. Like, I feel like they're not smart enough to even know that kind of stuff.
I think that it comes from two train of thoughts. I think one, that people are looking at any angle, just like we said before, wrestling fans hate wrestling more than anyone, or whatever the quote was.
Nobody hates wrestling as much as wrestling fans. Boom.
That's exactly it. So people are trying to create this narrative that basically, this company can't even have their own license. Why is Pat and his guys booked on this show? Yeah. So they create, they must need them. They're using their license, which isn't true at all. And if it was true, if you notice, for people that doubt that, any New York show has to say the wrestling company presents. If it doesn't, you get in trouble. So if I was providing license, it would say Creative Pro presents such and such. It didn't. And so there was that. Then I saw things that Pat Buck helped funded this show. And I'm like, fuck. I'm like, thank you for that. People are making up $1 Million Man storylines. Like, I'm the fucking person. I saw one person put up, I wonder how much money Pat lost this weekend. I'm like, holy shit. I'm just wrestling on the show because I'm friendly with the people there and they do good business. And just people are looking any way to knock it. I had a great time. It was fucking awesome. Matches were great. Crowds were really fun. I believe it was like 450 the first night. Maybe it was around, excuse me. There was Bob Holly.
My name is Thurman Plug, but my friends, they call me Sparky. You call me Sparky too.
Thought that was Chuck Palumbo on his motorcycle, the short
Thank
run.
you. We needed a new one. Palumbo's going by on the old chopper.
I'm a pro wrestler. I'm Chuck Palumbo. I'm a former WWE pro wrestler. I've been around forever. I've built bikes. I've built cars. I've never built a cooler. I'm 6'5". I'm 285 pounds. I'm sitting on this cooler riding around. It's carrying me no problem.
The second night, I want to say it seemed like there was around 800, 900. It was a stadium. You've worked at baseball stadium shows before. And it's like floor seats. And no matter how many people there, it still feels like, shit, this could be a lot more full because it's gigantic. But
yeah,
that
stadiums
fucking
are tough. I'm not. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. There's just that.
No, we have talked about it before. The stadiums are just not. They great money makers for the promotions, but it's really you don't ever see those sold out, no matter who runs them. So
yeah, just so many, and the acoustics are a little weird and like.
Yeah.
But it was just,
You said the locker room was good? Is that what I know you mentioned that to me.
Yeah, man. It was professionally ran. It was nice to be in a locker room that things were.
I hear that a lot there.
Yeah, everybody gets along. Everyone's decent. The one thing, but it was just weird reading about all this stuff that, it wasn't a lot of stuff, but it was enough where the owner of a venue was telling me, and then it was kind of mind blowing. I'm like, but also I have a relationship with them because 3 of my guys are, they're newer contracted guys are with them. KM, Mario, and Fala came from WrestlePro. So if we are a feeder system for them or if there's a loose relationship there, it was a nice gesture for them to have us. My match changed because I was supposed to work with my students and have like a nice like little tag team match and lead them through it. But there was flight. Braxton Sutter's flight got canceled.
Yeah,
ended up working singles match and a tag match the next night. But overall, it was just a great, fun outing, and I like that company. I think they're on the up and up, despite what the internet wants to put out there about them.
It's really unfortunate that people report stuff that isn't true, and I've seen a lot of it this past year, and that's why ultimately it's just like. Fuck social media. Fuck it all. Like, it's not even worth, because it's just so much bullshit being spewed out that there's no point. Like, you'll never win no matter what you do. The best thing to do is just ignore it and live your life. And, because they're going to create what they want to create and what they want to talk about. And, this reminds me, you mentioned Reddit. Mm-hmm. So, we've talked about them, the Sportster in the past. And, as of now, I believe they pulled all the negative articles with me maybe a week ago or so, and because the attorney reached out and they obliged and pulled everything down.
For those that may be checking this out early on, we'll go on to say that Sportster pretty much targeted a lot of wrestlers, but you were in a lot of articles. Top train wrecks or bad at meet and greets, and what was it?
There's a lot of Yeah, no, since I left WWE, the articles that they have started spitting out have been at an all-time high of painting me in a very, very negative light, where I'm oftentimes number 1 on their list by these so-called journalists. And I just look at it, it really... Even if most people know that the company's bullshit and they put out bullshit, you got people that aren't wrestling fans. This stuff affects your brand. It affects your image, and like you're always going to have people that hate on you, and it's just. But to see that, and there were so many things in there that were just completely made up and mistruths that we more than have enough for a very, very good case against them. And I've messaged them several times on my own before I had the attorney reach out, and they just ignored it and kept putting out more and more articles. So anyways, they pulled everything, but then they responded back. They got higher up from that organization where we've done nothing wrong, blah, 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 while we have gone ahead and we've gone obliged to what you wanted. We're going to look into this further, and they may republish everything, which if you want to go that route, go right ahead. Because it won't be pretty for you. But they quoted their quotes from where they're getting all the information. You ready for this?
Okay.
Which just whoever's running this company, it blew my mind. Reddit and dirt sheets are their two things that they quoted as their sources for why these are all facts that they're presenting. And when I saw that letter from my attorney, I was like, these are the idiots we're dealing with.
Yeah.
Like they quoted Reddit and all these other dirt sheets. I was just like, God damn, what fucking world are we living in? And no, but it's life has been good just away from it, and hopefully we'll get this all worked out. It's like just trying to do the right thing, message them in a nice way, and it's like just quit being fucking dickheads. It's not that difficult. Like if you're gonna present a fucking article, present some facts with it, not just made up bullshit that you make up. And these guys that will never have anything to do with wrestling. It's there was something. Oh, this wasn't one. This is what really bothered me. And you tell me if you recall. I've had nothing but great things to say about Seth Rollins. He's one of my all-time favorite opponents. I don't know how many times I've said that on here. Him and Rusev, I absolutely love working those two. Where it quoted me as saying that Seth Rollins is a terrible human being.
Jesus Christ.
Could you be any fucking further from the truth? All I do is talk good about the guy. I like the guy a lot. I'm working for his promotion in a couple of weeks.
That's true, yeah.
Like, what the hell is where are you getting this information? But people will read that, and that's what that triggers people to a Seth Rollins fan reads that, fuck Ryback, that piece of shit. They don't even, you know what I mean? So it's just, hopefully we'll take care of them and get that all cleaned up, and because there's no room in the world for that bullshit. Like, just grow the fuck up. But it's good. Global Force went good for you though.
Well, that's a win. So I mean, you got those articles taken down. That's
they'll probably put them up as soon as this comes out.
They write 20 new ones.
Oh yeah, I can't even. Yeah, you never know with them. It's just they're quoting Reddit for sources, so God knows what they're going to come up with next.
It's mind blowing. But on positive nudes, nudes, excuse me.
Yeah, I just said some nudes of Ryback have been leaked out in a very positive manner.
How was the Land Down Under? You made your return to pro wrestling after a little break, 3-month break. And,
3.5 months. It wasn't quite 4 months. It was maybe 3.5 months.
I was not keeping.
No,
keeping
I
dibs.
wasn't either. I know it was over 3 and under 4, so we'll go 3.5 months to play it safe.
So how was it? You went back over there, and you won gold in the Land Down Under.
Well, you're talking to the new Australian rock and roll wrestling world heavyweight champion, Pat. I would like you to show me a little fucking respect, please.
Well, do you have the title with you? Because if you don't, then it just doesn't count.
Well, what am I going to wear it while doing the podcast? If we had the Google Hangout, it'd serve a purpose. But it's I'm sitting here naked with the championship on as we do the podcast, drinking my Jim Beam and Zevia.
You're liking you got away from the Tito's. You're sticking with the little darker stuff.
I like a good whiskey. It's and the Zevia. I'm doing actually a ginger ale Zevia with a little Jim Beam, and it's smooth. It's if Mr. Beam is listening, shoot us a message, or any of his great grandchildren.
That stuff is strong as fuck too, man. I remember it was the only thing, because I'm a bartender of many years, especially in Louisville, when I'd pour the drinks.
Was that when you were serving in your underwear?
No, that was many moons ago. That was for one night only.
Oh, sorry.
The Pat Buck special in Providence, Rhode Island. But I was bartending in downtown Louisville, and out of all the stuff you could pour into drinks, whenever I'd pour the Beam, it was just so potent, it would shoot right back up your nostrils. And I noticed, I'd always pour like drinks or shots, Beam and Coke, or people wanted chilled Beam.
It was probably a cheaper one you're thinking of, not our potential sponsor.
Oh, I'm not saying anything bad about it. I think it's a terrific alcohol if they were to sponsor, wink, wink, the old podcast. Unlike that pussy company that we curse too much, that other place.
Everyone has their own set of rules they live by. I understand. We like to have fun on this show.
So, but with the Beam, I also noticed too that the drunkest people at the bar would order Jim Beam. It was always whenever someone would come over. Yeah, I'm like, that person's going to order Jim Beam, and they did. So it's a hell of an alcohol, though.
I wonder if I have a career, if say everything just went belly up on me and I'm here in Vegas and I go, Pat, if I go to bartending school and follow in the father's footsteps, old Roger Dodger, one of the greatest bartenders on the West Coast, he's now retired and just plays golf. But if go to bartending school and pull out the old Skip Sheffield cowboy hat and just do a cowboy gimmick working as a bar, slinging drinks for a living, I could probably do pretty well.
Probably. It'd probably bartending make great money, man. I mean,
in Vegas, they kill it. They do.
Of course.
They do better than a lot of doctors, especially if you're a good-looking woman. And I remember when I had a brief little run at a local bar doing the old bouncing deal many years ago. There were a couple attractive female bartenders in there, and this is just inside of the local neighborhood, like one of those little neighborhood bars. And they would get busy on the weekends, but they would make $500-600 a night at one of those, not let alone at a club in Las Vegas that is just people left and right just drinking, and then the drinks are more expensive out here, which leads to higher tips and typically. But yeah, you never know.
Yeah, no, I think about that too. If all else fails, I'll go back to bartending. But it's a hard lifestyle, man. You're up all night, you sleep all day, and it's still fun. I don't know. But Jim Beam is a hell of a drug.
Drink.
It's a drug.
Yeah, okay.
You know.
But anyways, no, Australia, I posted some pictures of out from the hotel room and some Snapchats. And the beach, I was right on the beach. It was, so Rock and Roll Wrestling brought me out there. And if anybody's familiar with Hunter Hayes, he is essentially he does Michael Hayes. But it is, his real name is Luke, and he's so far away from the character when he's not being that character. It's not like, and I again can't. We like to joke around about Fake Nate in that
Fake
promotion.
Nate, and what was the other one? Our other one, One Warrior Nation.
Yes. But and Fake Nate runs a great show out there, which I said, but he's kind of Fake Nate the entire time.
Yeah.
Where this guy's not Hunter Hayes the entire time. He knows when to turn it on and off.
He's not moonwalking and
while he's giving me my payday, moonwalking. No, hell of a promotion, and they the accommodations and they had drivers, to pick me up and take me to places, this and that, and the hotel room. It was a beautiful hotel on the beach, and it was good. I can't say enough good things about it. I had a phenomenal time. Long trip out there, which 3-hour or flight to LA, 3-hour layover both ways, and then 14-hour flight there and 14-hour flight back, and lost a day going out there. So I left here Wednesday night, at 6-something, and I landed in Australia Friday morning. So it was a little bit of just a lost day, essentially. And are we getting signals from Ghost on this podcast?
Dude, I swear to God, I don't know if there's Christmas carol. I mean, I live next to a bar, but people just walk by singing songs. Let me close my window. I apologize, people. My air conditioner is on the fritz.
You can leave it open. I'm okay with random noises popping up.
Okay. We're good then.
I was just trying to hear what it was. I thought it was like something talking. I couldn't tell what it was.
I couldn't tell either. It sounded like Christmas carolers. I'm like, what the fuck? It's August. And people were singing as they walked by my window because everyone gets drunk and then you don't understand, man. Sometimes I come home from training or practice and I have to tell people they're standing in my doorway and I can't get past them. They smoke cigarettes because I live above a bar and a comedy club, and there'll be people in front of my apartment and like, hey, can you move? I have to get inside my house. So all sorts of stuff all night long is what I put up with here in the fucking city. You would hate it. You would fucking lose your mind.
I don't know how you do it. The offer always stands. If you guys want to move out here and start the promotion out here, you guys have a place to stay. I would probably be way happier, and you would be miserable, but I would be happy. And bring baby Isabel; she can have her own room.
Yeah,
and
she's getting big.
It's she's growing up fast.
Mm-hmm.
But That it's funny you bring up the comedy club. I actually watched on the flight back. It was a documentary on comedians and their life and their lifestyle, and like they're talking about how they have to live out of these shitty hotel rooms, and it's like the life of a wrestler, just not nearly as much, not 5 days a week as far as, but it's more like it's just 1 day a week, or 2 days a week. They get flown out for a show, and it was they were talking about bombing and just like rowdy crowds and hecklers, and I'm like, comedy is it resembles wrestling in a way to some degree, which is why I think you see some wrestlers cross over into that field. Dolph Ziggler's one.
I tried for a little bit. I don't know if I've talked about this on here. You know this.
No, you don't. I'm finding out so many different things for the first time on this show. You never told me about bartending in your underwear before. And then months ago, you fucking we were talking about Australia. Now you were a comedian?
Well, no. Well, yes, but no. So when I moved to the city and I said, wrestling wasn't working out. This is before I started the company. This is after I left Tampa with you down there.
I feel like this was your experimentation phase in life. Like a lot of things came up during this.
Pretty much. I was trying to find my wings. I was trying to soar with the eagles. And but one thing came up is I said, you know what? Fuck it. Wrestling's not working out. I really like stand-up comedy and just I don't know, just telling stories, and I've always been a big comedy fan. So I tried for 6 months. I did open mics, and I would do this like 3-4 nights a week.
5-minute routines or what?
Yeah, between 4 and I think the longest was 7 minutes. What they do is when you're on stage, you'll get the old red light and you have 2 minutes left, like a time cue. It's very similar to wrestling.
Yeah.
So, and when I first started off, like some nights would be amazing. I'm like, wow, I'm picking this up. It's gonna be really good. And then other nights, man, I'd fucking bomb so badly. Like,
really?
Oh, and like the other people
with with jokes that worked before.
Yeah.
That is really tough right there because usually it's good if you have jokes that fucking work.
Yeah. Because if your timing's off, what works in one room won't work in the other. It wasn't, I felt like it was my first, and here's what happened too. So I did it for 6 months, right? But I wrote material for something that was topical in the first month I was doing it. And by month number 2, nobody gave a shit about it anymore.
Oh.
So I'm talking about I'm talking about subjects nobody cares about. And just sometimes the crowds will be different. And I'm like, fuck, this is too hard, man. So after 6 months, I tapped out and went right back to fake fighting, but gave it a shot.
I feel like I would have a safety net of any time a joke bombed, I would just go, botch, and just stare at them very intensely until my next one. Did you have a joke that worked every time?
You know what? I had an opener that was kind of cool because I'd always.
Would you mind sharing it on this podcast? I would.
Well, it wasn't like a joke. Okay, here it was. So like.
Okay, let's go. Come on. Yeah, the car's ready.
No, now it's gonna bomb. So anyway, like most comedians aren't in shape. Let's just say that you don't expect and I was in very good shape. I'm kind of a muscular man. So when
is this part of the joke?
No, I would just get on stage and I'd be wearing like a tight t-shirt and I'd be like, I think I'm in the wrong place. I thought this was a Steroid Anonymous meeting. And people would chuckle or because it would ease the tension because I think people would judge me for the way I looked because I looked different. And half the time it worked and half the time you just heard crickets.
So what was your play because would your next joke kind of reference that? Or was it? Would you just that was kind of your opener to kind of break the tension?
To break the tension, but the thing was, I'm very comfortable when things bomb. So if it bombed, I'd be like, "Wow, that was horrible." All right, I'll continue on. Like I didn't mind addressing that. And sometimes you can get people there, but then there's sometimes they weren't there. I'd be like, "Wow, that was terrible," and then still no people are laughing.
Yeah.
And then you're dead in the water. And I didn't have the skill set because it's a skill set. It's really like you need practice, you need timing. And, it reminded me of being in wrestling school. That's what it felt like. And I'm like, I can't, I'm 26 at the time. I'm like, I can't go through this process again. I'm already 10 years in wrestling. Like, fuck it. So that was my stand-up career.
Now, do you think? I'm sorry, we were talking about Australia, guys. We go off on side stories all the time here. That's welcome to the podcast. But this is us.
Yep.
This is now. Do you think? Because, for example, I'll bring this back to Australia because that's what we do. We're great storytellers on this. The second night, the crowd was much quieter for the venue we were at because the lighting was really bright in the crowd. Which, for anybody listening, if you've gone to a wrestling show, when it's darker, the fans make more noise when they can't be seen.
Yep.
When it's lighter and you can look and see the people right next to you, you are less prone to stand up and scream, Balor, Balor, Balor. You're sitting there just watching in your little shell because you don't want anybody to look at you or to draw attention to yourself. That's just the way the whole wrestling world works. And so sometimes you get these crowds that aren't loud, and if you're an experienced veteran like the big guy, you just take one look at the lights and go, oh, it's not me, it's the fucking lights. God, no, he just fucking sucks. Do you notice for a comedian that if the crowd is the same thing while telling jokes up there, I wonder that if people come in, they're not laughing, that it's because it's too bright on them or just different audience, different types of people?
Well, I'm going to pretend here that I am a professional comedian, even though I am not. But
you were for 6 months, whether you sucked or not, or you just chose not to pursue it anymore.
I was doing open mics. Like, I don't consider that at all. But the thing was, I would say no because every venue was a comedy club. So they had the professional, like, they were used to that ambiance. The only thing that was different, a couple of them were at bars. And the lighting was okay because it's dimly lit in a bar. But some places wouldn't be sectioned off. So there's guys like you're in the middle of giving your routine and there's a football game on and people are reacting to the football game and everybody listens to the reaction of the football game and you can't finish your punchline or segue to something else. And that was the only thing I experienced. But like I said, 6 months, I was a failure.
They talked. And that's more than okay. That's a good portion of life is failing over and over again. It just takes one time to succeed, and then everything changes for you. But they talked about this on this documentary where famous comedians talk about when they were coming up and where they would shut off the World Series and bam, or shut off Monday Night Football and then direct all the attention to the stage, and the people were just instantly fucking just pissed off because they were at the bar to watch the game, not the comedian. I wonder why they do that, where they don't wait for the game to end before they start comedy hour or whatever it's going to be, where it's like you're just putting the person in a position to where, if you know what I don't know, that's tough, man. That's
well, you know why also? Because like I think if it's organized, like I only did open mics, so basically like I paid. You don't pay. You basically go there and you have to buy like 2 drinks. And you're getting practice essentially. So it wasn't really like an actual crowd. You're working up to that. Yeah. But, it was just a different, it was, and you're in the room with other hopeful, and some of them would be really good and some of them would be fucking terrible. But it was a cool learning experience. But a lot of guys are transitioning, like Cabana, and, he's been doing a ton of stuff like that. Foley, Jake Roberts, Ziggler, obviously. Like,
yeah,
there's a similar thing there, I feel like. Storytelling's really, or stand up. It's fun, man. It's a pirate lifestyle, just like wrestling.
Did you ever have any hecklers? Any people that fucking ginger or something along the lines of where they were like, because that's the thing that these comedians were talking about, that people are just assholes. They feel like they could say anything.
Because most of the time it was just other comedians in the room. But if you go back and forth with them, like I remember one time. There was something I put over a joke that I'm like, man, like that joke just wasn't, or man, that bombed. And then the comedian yelled back, yeah, you're not funny at all. And I'm like, wow, that was really fucking hurtful. And I had nothing after that. Like my whole, because it wasn't a heckler, it was another comic there.
Yeah.
And it just took everything out of my soul. So,
oh man,
that's
I wish
depressing.
I wish that was on film.
Me too. Me too.
So going back, it was nice. I had all of Friday off there. The shows were Saturday, Sunday, and we had very nice turnouts over there for the 2 shows. So thank you for everybody that came out and for Rock and Roll Wrestling.
How are the opponents? How do you feel body wise? I mean,
so this was supposed to be the greatest hits tour, where go in, do a few big guy things,
lock up, shove,
lock up, shove off, fucking spine buster, left-handed meat hook, shell shock, go home, done. And I had a feeling that when I messaged you, I go, I don't think there's no other names on the show or anything, and it's my first time back in Australia in several years, and then I was informed about wrestling for the title, which is a great opportunity, and in which I buddied up with the promoter really well and got him to give me the title.
Listen, man.
Yeah. No, I'm kidding. I won it in a competitive matchup against Sean Custom, and the first night, who is a very good worker, and it was a lot of fun. I felt. It was so being out of the ring for 3.5 months, and I'm still not. I'm probably a few months away from. Like, my back feels considerably better than it did. The shoulder's still healing, and that cartilage is going to take a while to grow. And I'll probably even do another stem cell treatment before the end of the year because it's covered by the insurance. Just to keep. It's going to be a process, but I'm good enough now where I feel way better than I did. So, but anytime you're out of the ring for a little bit of time, it's always you never know how. You can't. There's nothing you could do that can mimic in-ring conditioning.
Yeah,
you hear that all the time. But burpees are the closest thing that I've found, and I know that if I could bust out 100 burpees, I'll be more than fine. And I was right on that, and it felt great in there, conditioning wise and everything. But it's that first night after we did. I think we did 12 minutes the first night and 15, 16 minutes bell to bell the second night. And total time of from wrestling bell to bell and whatnot, and just moving around again. But you got to. I'm at half strength weight training. So, but when you get in that ring, you're going. There's no half speed in the ring. And I did the meat hook with the right hand.
Did you?
I didn't. I can't. I just. It felt good to be back in the ring, and I just was. I told him, I go, I might do the left hand. I said. And then I was, if it presents an opportunity where I have you hurt, I might meat hook you with the left hand, not the right. And but when I'm out there, I'm going, and I wanted to trick him, so I went with the right because that's what
there's
we
a test, brother.
Yeah. No, but I kid you not, I was really, really sore after the first night. It's those bumps, everything just gets sore again. Groins were sore just from running around in there.
How was the ring out there?
Great ring.
20 foot?
18. Which I said, if it's not 20, 18 is what I prefer. Yeah, the 16s are a little tougher, but very nice ring and nice promotion. Everything. I look forward to going back there.
Cool.
I think we're going to hopefully do some more business out there in Australia and tour around with me as champion. And it's the Hunter Hayes, man. I can't say enough good things about him. He was a very good guy. I wish everyone was like this.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. Like, I compared him, and I told he's the Australian version of you. Huh.
Pretty cool.
With hair.
Must be a cool guy.
Yeah. No, as far as having his own promotion, and he's been very successful out there. So and I could tell just that we went out to dinner. We go out there. Of course, I got to go eat at Outback Steakhouse when in Australia, and I love Outback. And they and just talking to him, you could tell he gets it. You could tell when a guy gets it and doesn't get it, and he gets it. So it was cool. I'm very happy about the entire thing. So it was. I look forward to going back, and I put a bunch of snaps out there of the beach and just great time, man. I would love to move out there. Like I was in Wollongong for 2 nights, in which a couple of the girls out there informed me after the second show was over that I had been calling it Wollongong the entire time. And when I actually got to customs in Australia, the lady goes, "Oh, where are you staying?" I go, "Wollongong," and she laughed at me, and I didn't. And I just thought to myself, "That's fucking rude." Like, nothing else was said. That was it. And she stamps everything and have a good day. And it was because it's called Wollongong, and I'm like, well, you could have fucking smartened me up, lady. Big dumb Ryback just mispronouncing it the entire time on his promos and everything. So
I remember we were nervous about the old customs thing because we never know how that's going to go, right?
no, that was smooth. Because also this is something we never brought up. I was a little nervous because they had the whole terrorist thing with the bomb. They caught the people that were supposedly trying to bring a bomb into the airport for one of the airplanes, which turns out it was these three brothers, in which two of the brothers, from what I was told over there, two of the brothers had put the bomb, this bomb they created, on the other brother's bag, who was flying to Israel or somewhere of that nature, and had no idea that what was in the bag.
Oh, wow.
They were willing to sacrifice their brother. Just
Jesus.
It is. It's so unfortunate we live in these times. I really can't. Just what goes through some people's minds, like what gets accomplished by doing that? What message are you trying to put out? Like, you're just ruining people's lives. Like it's just so unfortunate. But the security was great over there, and it was amped up a little more than normal. But I ended up going through another line where they didn't have to go through everything in my bags.
Okay.
And whatnot. So it was everything.
They weren't questioning why you had 200 Feed Me More T-shirts.
No, not at all. I was there on a vacation, brother, just out to go lay out on that Australian beach.
And 100 Feed Me More chains.
Yeah. My 200-pound merch bag that I brought out there with me. Like, wait, what is this for? Just a lot of fans, man.
Giving them someone's birthday, giving out as gifts.
Throwing a party on the beach. But, fuck. Great. It felt good to be back in the ring, and the Ryback Regeneration has begun. I'm 2-0 on this Regeneration, Pat, and I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. So it's we'll talk about when we get to the plugs here on a show that was canceled for next week. So I actually get a couple weeks off, and to keep letting my body heal. And I'm going crazy a little bit. I want to really start, I hate not being able to do the things that I like the jiu-jitsu and the boxing and Muay Thai thing. Like, I hate just having to chill out, and I'm doing my training and whatnot, but it's like it's a process.
So you still can't do any of that stuff, you don't think?
I think it's so the Muay Thai would be much better than, because it's using more of my legs. The boxing isn't as stressed as actual boxing, but the boxing type stuff and like jiu-jitsu stuff, the shoulder's not. I got to make sure that it is close to 100% before I start rocking it with that stuff. It jars. That stuff was doing a lot of damage to me. So,
yeah.
I'm trying to just be smart, because it's, why'd I get all this done to just rush back and hurt myself? So hopefully in a few months, this is all behind me and I'm in a much better place. But I stay busy with everything we're working on. With like the Feed Me More Nutrition, like the fat burner, the labels are getting done right now. Like, we going back and forth. We finally got all the label stuff all approved, and I'm hoping to have that in a couple weeks.
Good.
So that we can get that out there. That's been a process going through all that and switching manufacturers. And I got to get a UK PO box. So anybody out there listening that maybe, I actually just messaged a guy that I know over in the UK in order, because actually somebody emailed me on this, that what's going on with Amazon in the UK. Well, we got everything all figured out with the labeling, and everything is cool. But I need to now get a PO box over in the UK to register with the FDA over there to sell through Amazon over there. Every country is different. Like, Australia is getting ready to launch Amazon over there in the next couple months, which I will go through this whole process with them and whatever their rules and regulations are.
So they don't have Amazon in Australia?
No, they're getting ready to launch.
Interesting.
So it is, it's great for me as a business. I just get exposed to different countries, but it takes time. It's not like a week process, unfortunately. It just takes time. So the UK thing, if anybody has any information, we're looking into this right now on getting the UK PO box opened. That's the next step, so that then I could register with the FDA over there. I just need to register the business with the PO box. that simple.
Well,
But
you're
you need-
70% British, so I think you could probably get that done.
I don't know if I've mentioned that to you or not. I am 70% English and 10% Irish, 7% Italian, a little bit of West European, and 2% Indian. So anybody out there, I am one of you. So yeah, that.
So give me your address, pal.
Honestly, that's what it comes down to. That is what I am asking, guys. If anybody there can let me use their address, and you don't have a criminal background, and you are just a loyal Rybucker and wrestling fan, hit me up at thebigguy@feedmemore.com. But since coming back from Australia, I actually feel like a real piece of shit today.
Why?
I've been a little thrown off with the time difference. And I've always been proud of like where jet lag never really gets to me too much. I've had a couple instances where it affects me a little bit here and there from all the different traveling with WWE. But when I got over there, it didn't affect me bad over there. I got a little tired. I would say I would start getting tired about 7:30, 8 o'clock at night over there. Whereas usually it's more 11, 12 o'clock normally. And but it was fine. I would just have a little coffee over there and then work the matches, and then went back, slept beautifully, got up early, and started my day. Where now I woke up super early here the last 2 days, but today I went back to bed and out on the couch out here with the dogs. I actually had to put the little guy in his crate. I felt bad after letting him out to go to the bathroom, and made some breakfast and listened to a little bit of a book, and then I was just so dead tired. I didn't wake up till noon today after, which for me is, it just was like, what the fuck? But it happened. So hopefully tomorrow I'm back on track, and it's, I just felt so behind, and I was rushing all day. And then you messaged me this week, because you have 2 shows coming up actually.
I do.
So we had to do the podcast a day earlier this week from our normal Thursday, which we really don't. Do we have a set day for this?
It's been Thursday, but our schedule's been crazy. You go away. I have events. We're trying to make this work. Trying to pump out 2-3 hours of content every week. It's tough.
Which I said,
it's
it
fun.
takes work. It's fun, but it takes work. You can't just go into this we can't just say, oh, let's do the podcast. And there's a little bit that goes into this, and we have certain expectations for ourselves, I feel like. So, but with that being said, you want to do some plugs for the week?
I was about to say, you read my mind. I think it's your turn for the old song of the week.
Is it my turn this week?
Last week I had the old Desperado playing, and this week it's on you, pal.
Okay, I'm mad. So you get the goddamn year song for the year anniversary of us. You get to pick next week.
Oh, I
right?
do. Fuck yeah! How about that?
Oh, son of a bitch!
I better think of it. I need a good one.
Yeah, that's all right. I'm gonna go with. Let me think here.
Oh boy, here we go.
So I have 2 trains of thought. I was gonna go with the "Wake Up" by Lost Prophets, which is a really badass song. I really like it. I feel like I just needed to mention that before I pick the song I'm going to go with, just to sound like more of a man.
Okay.
I think, though, coming up for our year anniversary, Pat, this is a very special occasion between 2 men that two friends of many years, and I know you regret deeply.
Yes, every day.
I'm very thankful for. And this is a no homo, that you hear that term used frequently by 2 men just proclaiming their love for each other in a no homo sort of way. Like,
sure.
Man, you look really, really good, no homo. So I'm going to go with "What Is Love" by Hathaway for this week's song.
All right.
To celebrate coming up on 1 year for our listeners, because I feel like I'm getting a bit of a reputation for picking not manly songs, but which is really, really funny to me, because there's no one more of a man than the big guy. But I'm so in tune with my manliness, I could pick these fucking songs, guys. So rub that in your face.
All
So
right,
Eddie, if
Eddie,
you could
hit the music.
tune it up, brother. All right, guys. All fan mail for the big guy Ryback. Please send to P.O. Box 752-740, Las Vegas, Nevada 89136. I got to swing by there tomorrow, actually, and check out my fan mail for the week. I love hearing from you guys. Thank you very much, and I always will get that returned back to you. Feed Me More Nutrition, available on Amazon, feedmemore.com. I'llPumpYouUp.com, and in Las Vegas at Spartan Nutrition in North Las Vegas and Wise Chiropractic in South Las Vegas. Check out FeedMeMore.com. We have some great specials still going. You buy a Wake Up Unlimited Energy, you get a free shaker bottle with the discount code. Those images are on there, so you just click on the appropriate image, buy one protein, get the second protein half off, and buy 3 The Big Guy All Natural Testosterone Boosters, get the 4th free. Those are only available on FeedMeMore.com. Check out Wake Up, It's Feeding Time, the motivational book by The Big Guy, available on Amazon in paperback, Kindle, and Audible form. The Feed Me More goal boards are now on Amazon, along with the Feed Me More nutrition tank tops. Those are available on feedmemore.com with the half-gallon water bottles. Fuel Meals, my personal meal prep service. Save 10% with discount code The Big Guy. And Holosync Meditation, the meditation program by Bill Harris. I've used it for years. I love it. I live by it. Check that out. The link is at feedmemore.com. The official Feed Me More Nutrition Facebook is at Feed Me More Nutrition, and follow us on Twitter at CWTBG. And that's it for me. I will say I was supposed to have a show at Chaotic Wrestling this weekend, but unfortunately the show got canceled, I guess due to the ballpark that it was supposed to be run at. So I got an extra week off, which let the body heal, so no complaints here.
All right, on my ends, and throwing this in there in case we always forget, for Nate from Takedown Piracy, does a hell of a job. He can help you with your podcasting needs. He gets rid of all those pieces of shit on YouTube that steal content without giving cred to sources. Nate's a hell of a dude.
It's just on touching on that. If you're going to put out a Ryback shoots on this or Pat Buck shoots on this, more than, come up with a positive headline, first of all, because pretty much almost everything said on here is positive. But give credit where credit's due, guys. Don't be assholes. Which is why we're going to give you credit.
So, September 8th, Create a Pro in Long Island, New York, St. James to be specific. You could see Fala Bob versus Smart Mark, Ryback versus Joe Bronson, so much more, CreateAProWrestling.com. September 9th, Bobby Lashley versus Colt Cabana, Joe Janela versus Tommy Dreamer, Ryback versus AR Fox, happening in Rahway, New Jersey, WrestleProOnline.com. And a lot of people want to know, how can we see the footage from your shows? Well, you just got to go to our friends at TitleMatchWrestlingNetwork.com. They have footage and WrestlePro events, shoot interviews, death matches. 2 weeks you get for free. So go check out my matches, check out Ryback's matches over at TitleMatchWrestlingNetwork.com. They got good stuff over there, and that's all I have.
All right, and with that, we'll go ahead. We'll take our first break of the show here, and we'll be right back, guys. If you're anything like us, you like to enjoy a nice ice cold soda every now and then, but you hate the empty calories and artificial sweeteners that come with it. With Zevia, you don't have to pick your poison. You won't feel awful worried about the potentially stupid harmful side effects, because with Zevia, there are none. Zevia uses the all-natural sweetener stevia. It doesn't have any caramel coloring either. Ew. The result is a delicious and safe soda with none of the nasty stuff. Zevia has 14 flavors of soda, 4 flavors of sparkling water, and 4 flavors of awesome energy drinks. This is the naturally sweetened pop you and your family will crave. And Zevia is giving you the opportunity to try their products for yourself for free. That's right, for free. If you live in the U.S. or Canada, just go to Zevia.com/podcast and sign up. And they'll mail you a coupon for a free 6-pack. What are you waiting for? Head to Zevia.com/podcast and get your hands on some ASAP. Don't forget to tell them Mark for Life sent you. All right, we're back. And I was just thinking, I was going to ask you what your thoughts on this are, because I was talking to our good buddy JD with Iron Attitude, and he's Iron Attitude, I believe, on Instagram. He does my weight belts, and he's one of the other guys.
He does our weight belts.
Yeah, which is your idea. You've given me some great things over the years. You were the one that sent me the weight belt as a gift for my birthday, right?
I think it was your birthday, yeah.
The original red weight belt that I started wearing. And
what did that say? Did that say big guy on it?
The big guy, yeah.
It did, okay.
And I still have that. That one that's the original. And I actually discovered, I was in my my laundry room upstairs where I keep all my wrestling stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And this was maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. And I was doing a Snapchat of just like of doing different things. And I noticed some of my weight belts are gone. And
Really?
I think the mom is selling them on eBay or something. I don't know. I can't figure it out because when I'm gone, she leaves her apartment and comes in here and cleans. And it's a kind of her way of saying thank you. I like to help out my mom, and it's a good feeling to be in that position to be able to do that. But I'm thinking, is my fucking mom selling some of my weight belts on the DL?
Have you checked? Have you seen anything from?
I haven't even looked online, but I know there's weight belts missing because I know the stack was it was really light, and I was like looking. I go, no, I remember I gave one to a really sick kid with
cool.
WWE. Hunter's bus driver had me meet a kid who he unfortunately had many surgeries. I think it was like 30 or 40 something surgeries. It's just one of those deals that I remember like I left there after meeting him. And it just touched me so much. I literally just went in the locker room and just grabbed my belt and wanted to give him something to like that I thought would be cool and brought it to him. And I didn't give a shit. I had the rest of the loop to go. It was like first day of the loop. And
Okay.
I usually bring one weight belt. And I was just like, this fucking is going to mean way more to him than it ever will to me. So, it was a cool moment. But I'd had a couple of those instances where I'd given them away in situations like that. And one, no joke, at Tribute to the Troops. One of the fathers stole my weight belt from gorilla position. Which,
I think you told me this. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you said it on here though. I don't remember.
They ended up tracking him down, and they sent it back. And the guy goes, "Oh, I thought everything was just available to take." And he literally grabbed my weight belt that was sitting and just walked away with it from Gorilla, from where they keep the championships and everything. So of everything to take, he thought that was for free.
He could have got a title, but he got
he
the
could have
weight
taken
belts.
a goddamn WWE World Heavyweight Championship, and he chose the big guy weight belt, which I'm very flattered by. Which somebody's going to report that's another one of my lies that I've. Why the fuck would he take that when he could have taken the championship? But we got that one back. But I'm missing more than the two that I've given away.
You wear these
around
weight
the
belts
house
are
all
actually,
the time? Yeah.
every time you leave, right now, in the shower.
For back support. That was one of Cody's things with me, is that he started a rumor on the one of the Iraqi tours that my body is so broken down, the weight belt, this was before I started my supplement line, that my existence relied on weight belts and pre-workouts, in which I had to go to sleep naked with the weight belt on to roll out of bed. And then I would roll out of bed onto my countertop and instantly drink the pre-workout. And then I would hop in a hot shower, and I would transform into this healthy guy. But
With the weight belt on, though.
With the weight belt on at all times. And that was the
Okay.
gimmick behind all of it. But one of Cody's good stories that he likes to tell. So it's pretty funny. I'm not going to lie.
I don't know if I told you this, but the weight belts that the same ones that we have, they're functional. Like I wear them when I train back or legs at the gym.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I'll take it off when I do cardio. I don't know if I told you this. So I went to the gym. This happened about a month ago, and I'm on the stair machine. I look across the room, and there's a guy squatting, and he's wearing a Never Stops weight belts. And I'm looking at him going, "What the fuck?" Oh. And I'm like, "Oh, I must have like left my belt here," and he just like took it.
Yeah.
So and at the time I have another belt with me. I think I have like 6, maybe 5 or 6. So
Does this one say does stop?
no, this one never stops, pal. So I get off the stepper and I like kind of run to him, and I'm like pissed off a little bit too. And I'm like, "Hey man," I'm like, "That you're wearing my belts. Like, look, I have another one." He's like, "Oh." He's like, "I borrowed it from the front desk. They like lent it to me." I'm like, "Okay, well, can I, I'm like, do what you got to do and give it back." But I got it back. But I've lost one too. Like someone either took it or I lost it somewhere.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So I don't know. I might have to question. It was my mom's birthday yesterday. So got her some gifts and a cake, and I didn't want to bring it up. I noticed it right before I left Australia. So I've been home a couple days. So I'll give it a week before I bring it up. "Hey, Mom, you been in my laundry room?" Which I know she has. And just see if she's maybe on the down low selling some of these weight belts. I don't know. I can't figure.
You think she's selling it? You think she's wearing it? What do you think?
I don't
what's
know.
the end game?
Honestly, it could be just sending them to family members. Like she has a lot of family. Like I wouldn't be shocked if they wanted something. Like, well, I could have given them a shirt. Not these weight belts are expensive. Like,
So if we do that booking in Whitehall and we just look in the crowd and there's
all my cousins wearing 7 different weight belts of me, and I'll fucking know exactly where they went. Yes.
Mom.
The life of the big guy. This is the shit that goes on here, guys. And this just triggered something.
Grandma's wearing a weight belt.
Yeah,
It's
it
awesome.
just holds us all together. It's I was going to tell you before we get into some wrestling news here. We'll see what's going on for the week. I remember I forget where I saw this, but somebody had made mention something about the table for 3 that I did. I don't know if we ever really talked about this with Dolph Ziggler and Daniel Bryan and myself.
We've mentioned it casually, I believe.
That it got a great response from the majority of people and people within WWE, because it's 3 guys who ultimately hang around each other a bit backstage and joke around all the time. And which there were some people that just he's so pathetic. We just feel so bad for him. People just make fun of him, and I'm like, this is what friends do. If you have real friends, you make fun of each other. That's in which I would initiate fucking most of it. Like it's just, I was just blown away by that. I was like, God, people are just, holy shit. I wish I would have been paid for it. That's the only regret I have about doing that. Is I wasn't fucking paid for it. It was at TV or a pay-per-view, and we had to fucking do that. But it was fun. I had a great time doing this. So I just wanted to touch on that. But
All right. So a little wrestling news. Not much happening this week, but we'll do our best. I think one of the biggest things that came out earlier in the week is Eva Marie is done with her legendary run in WWE. She is
what was the reasoning, do you know?
No. Well, I've heard that it was on her own accord, so I'm not sure what happened. I really have no inside scoop. I don't know anything. Probably should have done my research, but I heard a thing that it was on her own accord. So
okay.
I don't know.
She wasn't being used or anything of that nature, right? And then did she ever go to NXT at all? Do you know?
I mean, she spent a considerable amount of time there, but I don't know if she was ever sent back. I mean, that's been a hot topic of lately, is that people are what's the word? Possibly sending people back to NXT. That's been they haven't done it yet, but there's been rumors that may happen for a couple of people. But I don't think that would happen because
what would trigger that?
I don't know. I think that people still, it depends on what perception you hold NXT to. So there's some people like, oh, NXT's awesome. That's Hunter's brand. It's its own thing. But then other people will be like, well, it's not Raw or SmackDown, so it's clearly underneath. I think there would be something cool if they did like there's a, in pro soccer.
NXT is developmental. Whether they look at it, it's just bigger than what it was. It will always be, the platform is bigger and they're running much bigger shows now. They are doing phenomenal. NXT is great, and it is a great system, but it's just developmental, evolved, and that it's going to continue to evolve. And maybe down the road, it is a brand comes out of that, and then developmental is named something else. I don't know.
Yeah,
but it's definitely, there's a difference between working on Raw and SmackDown and working for NXT.
I think you're right, and I think that can't be argued with because deep down
somebody will argue with it. Trust me.
Yeah, I know, but I think the creative answer or the actual answer is every NXT performer is going to want to be on Raw or SmackDown. So
yeah, that's where the money is.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the money is. The bottom line on that. So, but who are they talking? What triggered that? Is there? Why would they send people down there, or what would cause that to just? Are there names they're thinking of? I don't know.
Maybe they think that certain people can't help the brands, or maybe it's overcrowded. I don't know. I think that maybe they think someone would do better in NXT, but they've used the word demoted before. There's a thing in soccer called relegate. I believe it's called relegation. Correct me if I'm wrong. People that may know about this, I'm sure I'll hear it on Twitter.
Or purgatory.
No, well, basically the last place team drops off and goes to a different division. And I think it's just an interesting concept.
Yeah, but that's real.
I know it's real, but if they took someone each year And if their pay was the same or something was properly planned out, which it doesn't happen in wrestling, so this can't happen. And say you go, hey, you're going to spend 1 year in NXT, but you're going to be on every TV. You're going to be...
Yeah.
That would be kind of cool. You know, I don't think that would ever happen, but there is... I've read things about that. It doesn't seem like anyone's been sent down yet, but who knows?
That's very interesting. I'll be curious to see how that goes. That would be a hard pill to swallow if you've been up there for any significant period of time. Any period of time. Once you get compared, and then the money is greater than in developmental, no matter how off it is from previous years or whatnot. It's so.
Also, next subject, a couple injuries. We had poor Bailey's out with a little shoulder injury and won't be on SummerSlam, which
is
got
that
hurt.
Real?
I think that's real, unless it's a really elaborate storyline. I'm pretty sure that it's real. If it's not, I bought it.
I did see her because I watched part of Raw, and that was one of the things that I caught, and the crowd kind of turned on her.
Yeah,
and I don't know what did you see that?
I saw bits and pieces, and I heard about it. I know it was a very wild crowd, like a very, you know, it seemed like they were against the grain, smarter, wise ass crowd. But yeah,
I don't. Please don't use the word smarter. That's just assholes. Bailey's such a sweetheart. I wonder why. And like, I don't know if
yeah. Can't imagine booing her. What the fuck? It's kind of...
Especially like kids and I feel like I told you the people that go to the TV shows are different than like live events.
Sure,
where
absolutely.
It's more that the crowd that is just miserable and wants to be, and this isn't all of them. I'm telling you, there's amazing fans, but there's those negative ones out there. Like, it'd be cool if they had more freedom to kind of go with that and I don't know. I don't know what to make of all that. Something good will come of it. She's extremely talented, so
sure.
It's just you can't if they're not buying what you're selling, which is it's hard to really hate just a fun-loving girl who loves wrestling that likes to hug. What assholes are you guys to boo that?
Right?
She likes making little girls happy, and you're gonna say fuck you.
Yeah, fuck this girl. No way.
Fuck our kids. You make our kids happy. We don't give a fuck about our kids. Fuck you.
It is kind of hilarious too. But.
It really is. It's like such a. It's not like she was at one point, but she hasn't been necessarily booked as good as which is people buying into everything. Which people don't like. I'm telling you, there's a reason why people win and lose. People don't like losers. Mm-hmm. That's a fact in life. Now that's why. Anybody that I've heard, me and JD actually talked about this, by the way. And Bailey's not a loser, by the way. That wasn't what I was. Somebody will fucking try to reference that out of that.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
Yeah, Ryback calls Bailey a fucking loser. I love Bailey. She, about the WWE mentioning before wins and losses. And that they have referenced before that at times that wins and losses don't matter. I would argue that.
When did they say that?
That's been mentioned on numerous occasions, even to us in meetings that we've heard that. I've heard that from different people and whatnot.
Such shit. Yeah.
It really, and I will say it doesn't matter maybe in the same element as like UFC or boxing, and that you can lose, but how you come off of that loss definitely matters and things. And then if you like different times lose big match after big match, that definitely fucking hurts you over time. And I've lived that and seen that firsthand. So, but it's like when they say that, I often wonder, well, then what's the point of the championships and what are the point of the matches then?
Mm-hmm.
It's all about winning. That's what the entire business is built on, winning and losing. It is built upon that this is a real fight. And in a real fight, what matters? Winning and losing. So me and JD were talking about that a little bit last week, and that just popped into my head on that. So, but whatever direction she goes, I would love it if she just goes anti-hugging. just
a straight bully.
Foul-mouthed alcoholic from this shoulder injury and just comes back and then has great success. She would be more over than ever.
Oh, man. Another injury that happened, Scott Dawson. They've had a bad string of luck with the Revival being called up, having a really great reputation doing great tag stuff, and one of them had the jaw injury. Now the other one has the old bicep injury, and I think they're out of SummerSlam. They were supposed to work with the Hardys. And
did he tear his bicep tendon?
He's going to need surgery, and it looks like a significant amount of time from the old reports that I read.
Bicep tendon tears, if it was either the lower one in the bicep or the upper one that connects in the shoulder, those are very painful and require quite a bit of time.
Okay. Sorry, Palumbo's going by again.
Sounded like Superman flying by right there. I thought I heard a cape. Man, how are you living with no air conditioning right now?
I'm dying. I'm sweating profusely.
Should I call 911 for baby Isabel?
She'll be fine. She can tough it out.
Yeah,
no.
I feel like she will be too.
You know what it is? My fucking landlord's a slumlord, and
I hope he doesn't listen to this.
Fuck him. He's such a piece of shit. So basically, like, he's been telling us he's going to fix our air conditioning forever.
This has been going on.
Dude, it's fucking August. This has been going on since April. So
wait a second. How have this air conditioning issue? How is this? It's been that long?
Yeah. So normally we have central air, which I said is a rare thing in New York. Like most, average apartments don't have central air. We do, but it broke, and it didn't break. It's just not that good. And we got the electric bill. Our electric bill was $450
for the month.
For the month.
That's more than what I pay for this house.
Yeah, and that's what everyone's saying. So, like, we're like, look, our AC, you know what it is? Our air conditioning's broken, and it's trying to work, like, pump air in, and it's not working. It cools it off a little bit, but
it's just running nonstop, though, because it's
and it's trying to, like, probably. It's trying to work, but it can't because it's fucking old, and this guy won't fucking replace it. So, we ended up getting I got a wall unit in a window unit in my bedroom and one in the living room, but I'm in my office right now. I don't have one in here, so I'm dying a slow death. But
do you guys have ceiling fans or anything, or no?
Nothing in here, man. Yeah. So
do we need to start a Kickstarter here for an air conditioning fund for the Buckster?
I might need a little GoFundMe support Pat Buck. Get an air con. No, I'm fucking fine.
No. What do you have to do to get this guy to give you air conditioning?
So I tried to be creative. This is what I did because I'm like, all right, motherfucker, like I'm going to get creative now because we've been trying to get this. So I gave him a whole bunch of different receipts. Okay, I really got the air conditioner from my father-in-law. Yeah. But I made a nice big receipt to give in. I'm going, hey, I took this off the rents. Okay. And he's like, oh, okay. I'm like, yeah, I took it off the rent. Like we needed to buy this, and I'm going to do the same thing next month. I'm going to be like, hey, look. We bought another air conditioner because it's hot in this room. Real
worker you are.
I have to. Fuck him, man. Like,
you got to. That's what you do to survive in New York City.
My baby's dying and I'm sweating. And that's so that's that. So that's why I'm kind of, I'm in a sauna right now, but I'll be okay. I'm fine.
All right. Let's continue on. What else is going on? What other news do we got for the week here?
Ho Ho Lun, I think I'm saying his name correctly, has departed WWE.
Hell of a name.
Yeah, he was one of the, I believe, he's Chinese, right? Yeah, they brought him on for the cruiserweight. I mean, he's not.
I would hope.
No, I mean, I don't want to get it wrong, Japanese, Chinese, but they wanted Chinese stars so badly, I think, and
it all makes sense. I get it.
He wasn't very good at all. I don't want to be a dick, but like he did not seem like he belonged. Really? He seemed like a guy that, and again, maybe I am kind of crapping on him because it looked like he was wrestling for he stood out in that cruiserweight stuff because it just seemed like, look, we need someone from China really badly. I thought he was terrible though. Like he just was not well seasoned.
I haven't seen him.
But apparently he left to, he has a sickness in the family and hey.
I was going to say if that's the case, if he if he left for those reasons, that's very honorable, and that's a really cool thing, and it's the right thing to do in that situation. So, and hopefully, if he left on good terms, and he could, which it doesn't matter, he could have left on bad terms. Anybody can go back there at any point. If people haven't realized this by now, I'll be back. I'll be back before the 10-year mark.
Before Royal Rumble.
I'll be back at 47. I was just messaging Ziggler
That's
today.
the average age on the roster, I believe.
Yeah, that's when I'll get my big run finally at 47. That I was just joking about my Feed Me More bus, and that because me and Ziggler always loved going to Hooters after the tapings, and like on a Tuesday night, nice cold beer, some chicken wings, can't beat it. And I told him, I go, we're going to be throwing Hooters parties on my fucking bus when I come back, and just feed me more nutrition, all decked out all over it. Seeing him move that fucking shitty bus, I need to pull up my fucking double wide trailer.
Right.
All right, what else? What else you got for me this week? Pat, I'm clueless to things going on in this world. This is where I'm getting informed here.
Not a whole lot going on. I was going to ask you what you felt about our Kurt Angle's new baby boy, Jason Jordan, and all that jazz. I don't know if you've been watching that.
I did. I love it. I love all of it. I told you it's awkward, and it's
Sure is.
But I think I told you this when we were going over the show a little bit tonight. It's way too early to tell, but it's almost like they should use this like with Rock when Rock was Rocky Maivia.
Yeah,
it just wasn't working, and it was so forced that this comes across the same way. And it's a different guy. It's not a third generation guy, but they're like making it like it's because it's not. And
people are paying attention though.
He has more of a character now than he did, even though I loved him and Gable in the tag team, and I thought that had more. But something good can come of this, one way or the other, and it's interesting watching. Things aren't meant to always just go as planned, and
got to ride the wave. Yeah,
but I want it to continue on for a while because I enjoy watching it. It's
like the awkwardness of it.
The awkward that is what it's making it different than everything else going on. So. It's all you sometimes, and people are starting to boo him, and nothing for him. He's not done nothing wrong.
But you can see also, I mean, he's a very good performer, but you can also see that he's trying to figure it out as well. And I think that awkwardness also stems from that, where he's like, you can kind of see like the wheels going in his brain, trying different things out.
Doesn't have to rush anything. You just go with it. Let that. They will. People are. There's something to it. It's not. Because if it's not dead silence, it's not like weird. It's something's there to this. So I like it. I think he's talented where he could just let it play out. I want to see it go on for a little longer before I hope they don't go, oh, let's pull the plug. This isn't working.
Yeah, give it time.
Yeah, that's all you need to do. Everything just takes time. And
maybe a new finisher, too. I think that's a kind of a...
Finishers are very important. That's...
people don't realize that. Like, you can't just go... Because I've heard that before, like you said before, the win-losses thing. Like, oh, it really doesn't matter what your finish is.
All of it matters. Music matters. Finisher matters.
But people would say, like, as long as you beat somebody with something, that's all that matters. That's not true. You need. I think that you need some sort of. Maybe it's not the move. It could be the way you go into something. But you could have a really shitty finisher. That's a thing. You could have a lame finisher.
Yeah, people used to shit on with Cena's the attitude adjustment deal, but it's such a feat of strength when he does it to other bigger guys, and he's beat so many people with it over the years that you get conditioned. That's a finisher. It does take time. If you do have a shitty finisher, it takes a long time to kind of get that. You got to get it over, which you need to get wins over big opponents with that. But what did he do? Was it the belly to back neck breaker deal?
Belly to back neck breaker, which I think a lot of guys are doing the belly back set up and then into something else, but it just didn't seem like a move for him. I don't know.
Really?
You would think
I don't know.
Maybe a different, if Angle is your, Angle had the Angle slam and the ankle lock, and it looks like they're running with, he's an Angle-esque person. I would have thought a submission or maybe something there. Just I don't think that cuts it.
Can he turn the Angle slam into a neck breaker? You can do anything. This is what I think about things like this body positioning.
That'd be a little different if you swing it all the way through.
Yeah,
possibly that would make it. That would make sense.
That's what I'm saying.
Why do we do that,
guys? Next week, let's turn the Angle slam into a neck breaker. You'll choose something besides a neck breaker because I thought of it. But come on, let's keep the gimmick going.
Very cool.
What I saw there was some stuff with Enzo going on. This has been going on for a while. We talked about it last week, just briefly with the bus incident.
It's not going away, man. It just seems like that's, you've talked about this before, how places can purposely leak stuff, and
yeah.
I almost think that so much is coming out that like it seems like that's kind of the narrative. I don't like not the narrative, but is there a lot to it? Is there?
Well, you have friends in WWE also.
As
that you talk
you.
To.
You probably have way more friends there than I do.
We both have confirmed that from things we've been told that this is all true.
Yeah. And Enzo, if you need an agent, if you want to come down to Independence, or if you want to appear at WrestlePro, I'll see you soon. I
don't know. We could when I turn heel, we can go ahead and do the big guy and the little guy and get a year mileage out of that touring the country. The fucking A. I don't know. I'm not there, so I cannot speak on anything going on. I've worked with him down in NXT and did a promo segment with him and Big Cass. And
that was on a commercial the other day for something.
Wait, what was?
Didn't you do something? Okay, I swear to God, I saw you in the ring. It was on a commercial for. I swear to God, I saw it. Something where did you like pat him or something? Like
I don't know. It was dark after NXT. They sent me down there.
That's
on
what it was.
On my off day. I remember I was just furious.
So they have a new show coming out called Hidden Gems, where it's all stuff that didn't air before, and that was on it because I said, "Oh, I didn't see that before," and you said it was dark. That's going to be on the new. That was on the commercial.
Of course, it will be.
They're taking that Dark Sunshine idea and making it Hidden Gems.
Hidden Gems. No, that was. I think I did a. I don't know. I thought I did a 2-on-1 match down there, and then which I did, and then had a promo thing with them, maybe, or maybe I'm thinking of a different time I went down, did a 2-on-1 match, and then this time it was just a promo. It was one or the other. I can't remember, but I did a promo with him and Big Cass, and they were great to deal with, both of them. But I don't know. Things can change for people when they go up there, and I don't know. It's hopefully all I'm gonna say is if the stuff is true, hopefully he learns from it and can rebound from it and not keep making those mistakes, because everybody reacts to things differently and handles situations differently, and hopefully he can look. I fucked up, and I'll go through whatever they're gonna put me through, and I'll make the most of this and win everybody's approval over time, because he still can.
Sure.
But if he fights it there, that's a tough one. So, but sucks.
What else is going on? That's all I have in terms of news. Like I said, slow week, I feel like, at least. But I think we can segue on to our next segment, unless you have something else.
I don't. I was going to say I'm really, really excited. Just this week with the whole Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather, the sparring partner, Paulie Malignaggi, I believe. All that stuff going on. I'm ready for this fight. I can't wait for it. I think it's going to be very interesting.
Are you going to attend it? Oh wait, no, you're booked that day, I believe. Crap. You're
wait,
gonna
where
miss
am I
it.
booked? Where am I booked at?
I think that's the 26th. So you will be with Big Mike. You'll be up here.
Oh, that's son of a, I got 2 shows that weekend. That and then Black and Brave for Seth Rollins' school, right?
Yep, that's the same 24th and 26th.
Smaller opponents, right? So that I can not these heavy 400-pound, 500-pound guys.
You know how Big Mike is. It looks like you're still stuck.
I'm not stuck in anything. I will call Big Mike myself. I'm not Big Mike. Ryback here. Conversation with the big guy. I can't work Wrecking Ball Legursky right now. I wrestled him once. I want a smaller fucking opponent. That's what. Just please oblige. I'm coming off fucking injuries. God, I hate the big guy versus big guy matchup. I could fucking pick up a house. Could we accomplish that? The people don't need to see me pick up anybody big ever again. I want cool, just God. All right, I'm done. That's all I got. No, but hopefully we'll get that all organized and worked out.
What were you saying about the Conor fight?
No, I'm just really looking forward to it. I think it's they've done such a great job. And by the way, our main event tonight, we have not informed you guys things UFC can do to increase buy rates, to spicing up the fights, and that is our main event tonight. And I think they've just done a great job promoting this and building interest in this. And I think I'm really looking forward to seeing the numbers that come out from this.
Sure.
I really think it's going to be at a whole other level.
I think so too. It'll be the most watched. Clearly, it already is the highest selling thing of all time.
Everybody, the media are all doing. They are doing their jobs of just creating more and more interest in this. And Connor and them in his camp, they're very smart people on how they are creating hype for this.
Sure.
Whether he stands a chance or not, you want to see this thing now because of how they have run this whole promotion. So really looking forward to that. And that's it for me this week on notes and everything going on.
All right. I think it's about that time. Your favorite time, reviews of the week.
Reviews of the week. Oh, really? By the way, I need to was it something Stanley messaged you for show tickets?
Yes, we had another one where
did you get back to him?
I did. The last week's winner, I believe. I think it was last week's winner.
Tried to trick us. He's trying to
double dip.
Oh, double dip. Yes, sirree.
Really?
I have a message from him. I have not responded because I was waiting to ask you this, and I figured I would just wait for the show. That he had not gotten a hold of you, supposedly at the time of this email.
Huh.
And he really wanted tickets to Creator Pro, but he also wanted a shaker bottle, in which he said, I know I said I didn't want anything, but it's one or the other. Those are the rules we have created, damn it. And it's not Russell Pro tickets and a free shaker bottle.
Damn it, Stanley. I'm reading the message right now. He wrote to me at 8:14 p.m. I got back to him within the hour at 9:26 p.m.
Unless he messaged me like 5 minutes after, just trying to get that shaker bottle on a clean conscience.
Which does happen with a lot of wrestling supporters, where they kind of frantically will message if you don't write back immediately. But
what are they? They're not on their social media all day like us.
He does have 2 tickets for him, waiting for him on September 8th for Creator Pro.
Okay, my hands are clean on this one. There's nothing left to say. We know the deal.
Well, if he has an issue, he can tell you in person. He actually asked if you'd be on this show. I said, yes, you will be. And he's bringing his girlfriend. So, David Stanley, tickets are on me, pal.
Oh, very cool. Shaker bottle's not on me. You got your tickets. Sorry, pal.
Let me get to the old reviews. Let me pull that up. God,
be careful of those ones that say they don't want anything. I think that's starting to become a trend of they really want a lot.
First review, good show by Trip13. I wasn't a huge Ryback fan, but I like the podcast. I like I like the fitness tips and the ideas from Ryback and the Buckster. I haven't been a long listener, but I've been keeping up with the show after social media was trolling Ryback. I wish Ryback the best. I hope to see him on TV. I do have a problem with this review. He gave us 4 stars.
No, I'm okay with that. That's fine. I have a problem with the beginning that he wasn't a Ryback fan, but I feel like whatever.
We also have
solid review.
Another review from the Jewisaurus. It says,
is this your buddy Jamie?
It is. It says, you're welcome. My old college roommate / wrestling pal. I talk to him every day. You're welcome. He spelled "you're" wrong, so I think that's going to disqualify.
Oh, real fucking downer right there. He doesn't know the difference between "your" and "you and "you are."
Unless he's doing it on purpose. I don't know. He says, not to toot my own horn or anything, but I feel like this show would not have happened if it was not for me. I'm the one who got Pat into podcasting many years ago. We had our own little show. I'm very proud of the way he's grown into such a professional broadcaster. Big guy, you're welcome. Nope, he said "you're" twice.
Jewisaurus, you're dumb as fuck.
But
God.
on a serious note, I listen to at least 20 different podcasts, and yours is always a pleasure to listen to ahead of the others on Mondays.
Out of the other 20.
You guys are top
That's
19.
so many podcasts. God damn it, Jamie. Read a book or listen to an audiobook. Shit. 20 goddamn podcasts? What are you doing all day?
It's a real easy and fun listen, just a conversation between two friends. It's also been a big part of motivating me to drop a few LBs. He has been getting in shape. He actually has been working out. He's called himself Junder Mahal, I believe. Doing his workouts and getting
Seems
back.
like quite the character.
He is. I look forward to the workout nutrition tips on a weekly basis. Also, Ryback has definitely, and he spelled definitely wrong. I can't believe we went to the same college.
Did not proofread this at all.
You have improved with your problem of cutting Pat off when he's trying to speak. Keep up the good work, guys.
Yeah, he got fucking mad at me and fucking I had to send him a message apologizing. It's a fucking podcast where we drink and have fun. And I like to talk. We're two chatty Cathys. I've realized I have to let Pat talk.
That's okay.
I can't just cut you off every time something pops in my head and go, oh, my turn. It's part of the learning process. I admitted I was wrong before, so you don't got to fucking bring it back up. I thought I've done a phenomenal job tonight of not cutting you off as much.
We both do it. We both get a little overly eager. I'm all caffeined up, and you cut me off, and, whatever. But those are the two reviews this week. That's all I got.
So we're both, by the way, the reasoning for that is we're both long-winded when we talk. We explain things because we're intelligent and we like to explain things. So
and we're narcissists.
Well, yeah, whatever. Everyone, I love myself. If you don't love yourself, nobody else will. That's a fact. That when something pops in our head when you're saying something, I know it's going to be. I might have to wait a minute or two to go back to that.
Yeah.
So the instant reaction is cut him off. But cut him off because I'm selfish and want to talk about what pops in my head. But it's a growing. If you've listened to this podcast from episode 1 to now, you will see. I told you the most important thing when we started this, Pat. No matter what happens, we just keep putting our product out every week, and that's what we're doing. So,
who's the big winner?
Jamie actually just bought the pre-workout. Because he inquired about the Feed Me More and Big Guy baby bibs. I'm all out of them.
Oh, really?
I quit making those early on because those always did really well at the live events. I need to look into it because I'm not using those people that were making them for me, but I need to use I get everything made in China, so I need to look into that. The baby, I've forgotten all about it. But this is a tough one because so the Jewisaurus, as he likes to be called, is he bought the pre-workout this week, so he has, but maybe he's looking for some protein or the big guy, and but the first one is a guy that wasn't a loyal Ryback fan. So with this, I'm going to have to say, since Jamie just got the supplements this week, and the guy wasn't a loyal Ryback fan, and he listens and he seems to have turned the corner, maybe, so to speak. I'm going to go ahead. What's his name? The first one?
His name was Trip13.
Trip13. If you could please send an email to the big guy at feedmemore.com with a screenshot of your review and your supplement of choice. You'll also get a free Feed Me More Nutrition shaker bottle and workout towel and your reasons for why you didn't like me before. I would greatly appreciate it. Oh, no. Was that TL Hopper?
Coming by in the old plumber garbage
mobile.
truck. That really was a garbage truck, I swear to God, that drove by. Completely was.
Duke the Dumpster Drosy, perhaps.
Yeah. Fuck. Oh, TL Hopper was the plumber.
Duke the Dumpster Drosy.
I'm getting my shitty 90s personas confused.
We grew up on that shitty 90s.
That's why we're doing this today.
Yeah.
So, where do we go from here? Tips of the week?
I was going to say, if you go ahead and, let's go tips of the week, Pat. Let's do it. Tips of the week. Yay. All right. Match of the week this week. Cody versus Christopher Daniels, I watched the other day. It was the Ring of Honor one. I believe it was their Best in the World pay-per-view. Is that what it was called?
It's when Cody won the title, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they had a nice little matchup, and I enjoyed it. And so that is my match of the week this week. I've seen a few more since I've gotten back, and that one was my favorite out of all of them. Book, I might have mentioned this book last week. I apologize. I threw my notes out from last week, and I have not. This book is pretty long, so I have not completed it yet. Maybe you'll remember if I said this. Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Joe Dispenza.
I don't know. I probably wasn't paying attention.
You don't listen to any of my tips. You actually, I noticed the match book quote, you wait till the nutrition and fitness. I feel like you come around, but I feel like, yeah. So there's a good chance I said that book last week, but that's the book I'm on still. So I'm completing that one first before I give a new book of the week. Quote of the week. This quote is very appropriate for everything going on, Pat, and for you, me, and the world. The media is the most powerful entity on earth. They have the power to make the innocent guilty and to make the guilty innocent. And that's power because they control the minds of the masses, by Malcolm X. And my only thing to say to that is don't let them control your mind. Tune that bullshit out because a lot of the times it's what they want you to believe. So, and I don't even want to give credit to wrestling journalists as being media, but they're not true like journalists, I feel like, compared to real journalists, in which I think some people get mad at that, and that's okay because they're not on the receiving end of all the bullshit. So that's my quote of the week. Nutrition tip. When going out to eat and ordering vegetables, Pat, you could attest to this, be careful. Many restaurants will soak the vegetables in butter to make them taste better. Ask them to be cooked and not to be cooked in butter and order them dry. Green beans, broccoli, vegetable medleys, things of that nature, asparagus, they will soak that shit in butter, guys, and it tastes delicious. It's not supposed to be delicious. They're vegetables. So don't get them cooked in butter because you are just defeating. If you're on a keto diet, that's one thing where you might be able to get some more fats. But a lot of people oftentimes will get a steak, a baked potato, and a salad and vegetables and thinking you're mixing your carbs and your fats because you're putting way more fat in that than you need. So order your vegetables dry. When you're eating your vegetables at home, do you add any oil to it? Butter spray? The butter spray, I'll just do a little bit with potassium, salt, and maybe some other seasoning. Be careful. Yeah, I'm telling you because unless you have your wife or girlfriend carry a can of butter spray everywhere with her, which some people actually do that. You got to be very careful, which is not a bad idea at all. I eat a lot of kale and a lot of. I just had broccoli before. I think she puts on a little bit of olive oil on it, just a little dusting of that. So that again, olive oil is better than usually butter and things like that, and just a little. But you could actually, if you're on the keto diet, fats are better for you at that point. Everyone has their different fat levels. A lot of people are just completely unaware. They think they're ordering vegetables and think they're good for them. We worked in the restaurant. We saw they're soaked in butter. Oh yeah, 100% most restaurants. So because their job is to make the food taste as good as possible. So just be aware of that, guys. You can order them dry, and you can put some salt and pepper on them and things like that. Get a light dressing, dip it in light dressing. Anything is better than getting it soaked in butter. Workout tip of the week. When doing cardio, increase your intensity on the elliptical, the bike, the treadmill. High intensity interval training. It kicks fat burning into a high gear. And what I mean by that is a lot of people will get on the elliptical and they'll go very, very slow. I always like to do it at a very high level where it puts a lot of strain on my legs, where if it goes to level 25, I'll go level 21 or 22, where it's really, it's much tougher. But you can still do, if you're trying to burn body fat, say you still want to do 30 minutes on a normal pace, cool. But don't be afraid your last 15 minutes to go a minute as hard as you can and then a minute normal, a minute as hard as you can, a minute normal. Doing that will kick your fat burning into a whole other gear. And it's treadmill, same thing. You walk for a minute, you run for a minute, walk for a minute, run for a minute. Do that anywhere between 15 and 20 minutes, I'm telling you. You got to be at a certain conditioning level to do that. But again, if you're overweight and weight is an issue on your joints, the elliptical or the bike, you could do the same thing and you do a minute at a faster pace and a minute at a normal slower pace. And I'm telling you guys will see the fat melt off your body.
I want to ask you a question about something. I discovered this today. Never heard about this before. Maybe I heard about it once when I was watching like the movie Pumping Iron. How do you feel about vacuums as a part of training? Like the you know what I'm talking about? Like where
you suck into your stomach and to try to give the illusion of a smaller waist. Well,
is there something to that? Because I saw that from one of the 5% guys was talking about how it's one of the most important things in terms of he was just putting it over. I didn't know how you felt about that.
No, I don't think I'm familiar with them. I've not practiced them or anything because they serve me no purpose in the life I'm living. But for bodybuilders and whatnot, it's something that is not a lot of guys do it anymore. It is more of a pose like during Arnold's days. Sergio Oliva, I believe, was the guy that did those quite often.
So it's more for a pose, not for an actual exercise? Is that
what were
it
they
is?
saying? What were they saying the benefits as an exercise?
He was saying that it was more of a, it does help with posing, but it is an abdominal that'll help tighten your stomach area up because you're breathing in and you're essentially trying to suck your midsection in as high as you can go, hold it for about 30 seconds or repeat like 3 times and do it like 3 times a day, and that you'll notice results from that.
I don't doubt that. I believe they work. I don't doubt that anything that
I never heard of it before until today. That's why I was like interested by it.
No, vacuum. It's something that it was. You don't walk around like that all day long, but it's anytime you're training your body to do something and you're stressing the muscles and you're sucking in, it can condition your body can get conditioned to that over time to where you maybe your waist, your stomach doesn't distend quite as much as it maybe would normally and whatnot. But that's one of those things like endurance sports and wrestling. Me and Dan O'Brien actually talked about this before. Have you ever heard the term belly breathing, where
I think so.
Not breathing in just through where you breathe in really deep, where you actually your stomach extends because you're getting such a full breath of air.
Okay.
Where you relax your body and you allow the air not to just go into your chest, but you allow the air to go all the way into your belly, and you really get a full belly of air. So like that's the proper way to breathe, where it really you help just. It has so many benefits to it, but it's not the most. So for a wrestler, if you're belly breathing when you're in the ring, you're going to get poses. Someone's going to take a picture, and your stomach is completely.
Yep.
But you are breathing the proper way, and you're actually going to have the most amazing endurance. And that's something I practice at. I do every day in the shower. When I go through my little meditation deal, I kind of have a whole thing I go over that I'm thankful for. And I got a routine that I got comfortable doing years ago on the road. I'll always do 4 really deep breaths where I hold it in and belly breathe. Just 4. I just do 4 a day, just at least. That. And sometimes I'll do it when I'm tanning and whatnot, but just to condition myself to doing it. But your stomach, it doesn't look, you got a belly full of air, but it is the proper way to breathe. So, but that's kind of the opposite, where the vacuum is more of creating this illusion of, it's more for bodybuilders. I'll just say that anybody can do it, but it's more if you're a bodybuilder. That's a cool thing for bodybuilding. So,
okay, cool,
good deal.
Questions?
All right, yeah. Let's. What are the? Pat. I'm so oblivious to everything going on. I feel you gotta read me these questions. I need my finger on the pulse of what's going on social media.
I got a question.
We got a couple of them in. So one of the questions is, I've got an extensive double spinal surgery coming up on August 24th. And we'll be off my feet for 8 weeks. What can I do to drop weight while I'm stuck at home for that amount of time, unable to move other than go to the bathroom or my kitchen? Thanks a lot. I love the show, guys. From Joey Image on Twitter.
That's tough. I'm sorry that you have to go through this. Obviously, I imagine he's not going to be doing a lot of walking or anything outside of moving around at home for the daily necessities and all that. So the best thing you could do is tighten up your diet and actually. So there's 2 trains of thought on this. If you're in shape already, it's one of those where you get like, well, I could relax a little bit. I'll stick to a really tight diet, but I'll have some cheat meals. I'll let loose a little bit.
Let your hair down.
Just let your hair down, man. It's my favorite thing. I got to get my guy to make a graphic for that to throw on Amazon. With my bald head. The other thing is if you're maybe not in the best of shape and you're using this, you're like, well, I really want to start getting a diet down. Is diet really, really hard because you're not going to be burning a lot of calories. And you could actually, by eating super, super clean throughout this whole time, you can do yourself wonders on how you look by just eating. And you'll see if you go from being super active to not active, your appetite will go down because your body, especially if you're used to 3-hour training or 2-hour training sessions, and that is eliminated, your body recognizes that you're not as active and you're not quite as hungry. It's just being focused and knowing what you're trying to get out of these 8 weeks. I'd say just a keto-friendly diet, have clean carb days occasionally in there. You know, if you want to have a cheat meal here and there, don't be afraid to let your hair down, so to speak. But really, really tighten up the diet during this time. And food is fuel. Food is energy. If you look at the world is designed on making money. All these businesses, there's good businesses and bad businesses. Unfortunately, in the food industry, there's a lot of bad ones. They want you to get fat. They want you to be pieces of shit. It's up to you to know it's nobody's job to educate you on what food is good for you, and food is fuel and energy. There's all this great tasting food because people are making money on this great tasting food. You got to say, fuck that. I know what I want to look like. I know what I want to do, and I'm going to fucking do it, and I'm not going to listen to all this bullshit. I'm going to eat foods that are good for me. Food is fuel. If you can look at food as gas for your body, I promise you, your outlook on things will be different. Every time you put something in your body, is this good for me, yes or no? And if not, you're making somebody else richer. So,
speaking of the keto diet, I thought this is really interesting. Our buddy Matt Capitelli, who is fighting the good fight, and he's going for treatments. He had mixed reviews with what he can do, but I thought what was interesting is actually
is there an update on all this because I haven't been on. So
he it wasn't the greatest outcome, but he's optimistic and he's going through. I think he refused radiation treatment because apparently where the mass is, it's too close of a risk where it could risk blindness. So he's going for chemotherapy treatments. He's optimistic. He's actually switching part of his I don't know how to put this. Part of his regimen now will be actually, he said, a keto diet because it starves cancer cells.
Really?
Which I thought was like super interesting that's a thing, and he put it out there, and God bless him, and we're hoping for the best for him.
Absolutely. He is a phenomenal human being. So nothing but good will come from this for him. He's such a good guy. So it's hopefully everything. It sucks things like this. You got to go through these, but he's as strong as they come. So
yeah. From BK Wesley, 81. What the fuck? So my phone just lit up. No, sorry. Chad Wicks was calling me. The fuck?
Wait, was he selling you one of his water systems?
I don't know. My phone
he's
just
big
lit
on
up.
he's big on the alkaline water. Be careful.
Okay, next question from BK Wesley 81. When is Ryback coming to Dallas? We want to see him wrestle Keith Lee.
Is Keith Lee from Dallas?
He is a Texas boy, yeah.
Hopefully, what promotions are in Dallas? Do we know?
VIP Wrestling is the most popular one, I believe. And Wrestle Circus is in Texas, but I don't think it's Dallas. I'm not really sure.
Yeah. No, hopefully I've not been there yet to wrestle on the independent. So it's book the big guy at yahoo.com, and Pat can help you out on all that. So hopefully I need to give myself a few months of not wrestling big guys with my shoulder and the back and everything. But hopefully, maybe 2018, that match can happen. Keith Lee, I'm a big fan of his.
And if I can just throw some, I'm not saying with Keith, but I'm going to say a lot of stuff too. I've been trying to book a lot of, I don't want to say, I guess I could say this, like indie darlings versus other, maybe WWE people, and it's been a nightmare. And here's why it's a nightmare. I'm not saying this is a bad thing, but a lot of guys are holding their dates for Evolve or other promotions.
Okay.
It's Evolve. And what's happening is that and they run often up here. But a lot of guys won't take outside dates until they fully know their schedule, and I have to pass on them. Like there's been guys like,
so they're losing money by.
And what sucks is that the real, the one thing. Okay, the one piece of advice, I won't talk a lot of shit. Trademark your name, guys, while you can. Trademark your names because
great advice on that. Fuck Pat. Great advice. We've not talked about that.
The reason why I'm saying I had a certain talk with someone in the locker room recently, and they pointed out that a lot of the smarter mark promotions, all they're doing is getting a library of shit so they can resell it and cash in and
to
not
the WWE, right?
Anyone to a company like FlowSlam or things like that, where they're just going to build a library and cash out. And do you receive anything from that? No, you don't. But just for guys out there, if you're in independent wrestling, copyright your name, trademark your name, so you can at least protect yourself down the road.
And great advice. And WWE always used to say, "You guys protect your brand." Then people they get mad then when you do. Constantly, it was stressed on us. You guys protect your brand. You're the brand, your image. This is your deal. Protect it, protect it, protect it. And then you do. You just follow the rules, and then they get really, really upset with it. God damn it. No, but that's you. Everybody should do that in wrestling. If you created your name, your brand, your likeness, your catchphrases, fucking protect it. That's the bottom line on all that. You don't always have to go through an attorney. It makes it way easier doing that. But you could do everything on LegalZoom. I believe you could do a lot of that, right?
Everything I did, every LLC, every trademark, every incorporation, all through LegalZoom. It'll cost you a couple $100. It could cost you in the realm of $500-600, but
yeah,
do it.
Just save up, save $20 a show towards your trademark, and it will. More people need to do that. It's something that protect it. Why would you create something to hand it over to somebody else? Why?
And they have payment plans on LegalZoom. You can pay like a lower. So if it's $600, you could break it up in 3 payments.
Yeah,
like
great advice.
Go do that, because I'm seeing that, and it's like, so these guys won't work for my show, but they'll take another date, and this is why it's just. I don't know. It annoys me.
It all comes down to people. Here's the deal on all that. There's certain promotions that have, whether it's Evolve, that have relationships with Hunter and different people in WWE, and it's that whole fear mentality where they're afraid to piss people off, or they're gonna. So they think that if they piss off whoever's in charge of Evolve and take another show, that they're gonna bury them to WWE and they're never gonna go there. Guys, if you're fucking good enough and you fucking go out and bust your ass, you'll get a job there one way or another. Like, that's just. I hate that whole fear mentality, and it's such a fucking shitty thing in wrestling.
I got a question.
Next question from Peachy McLean on Twitter. Any tips regarding juicing, big guy? I think he means a juicer. Just got a juicer for the first time.
Pat,
Pat.
I knew that.
Well, it's a 2-part question. So one's for me, one's for you. So how do you feel about juicing?
I think it's phenomenal. I think it is so many health benefits to it. It's something that everybody should be doing. I actually need to buy a new juicer. I blew out my motor, the one that I had I was grinding the whole thing up in it, and I thought I had one of those juicers that was able to tolerate it.
Yeah.
It lasted a good year doing that, and then the motor
died.
Yeah, but if you ever see, any of the documentaries on Netflix there's different food things that say like, oh, we should only eat plants and we can get all the protein we need from plants. And I am against. Honestly, I wish we didn't have to eat animals. I hate that. I've seen if you've seen anything on how animals are treated, it is fucked up. It is.
Yeah.
Living creatures. I do not believe should be tortured or tormented, or some of the shit that goes on, and we're overpopulated. It's such a hard topic to even discuss, and we're so far deep into this that it is what it. Like, I don't know. I believe balance and I believe I have my freezer has bags full of broccoli, and I cook broccoli all throughout the day. And that's another great thing for eating at night. If you get hungry, cook a big ass bowl of broccoli, put a little butter spray and potassium salt, maybe some liquid aminos. You'll fill yourself up on broccoli, and it's negative calories where you burn more to digest it than are actually in it. So, but it's juicing and different things. I'm not big on fruits, man. It's just sugar. Your body treats sugar the same, whether it's from fruit or a bag full of Skittles. Your sugar is sugar, no matter how you look at it. And I think that you can get fiber and different things from different supplements now, where you don't need to consume all those sugars. Now, whether you have a juicy smoothie after a workout where you need some sugars, that's one thing. But just drinking, some people will drink sugar all day long, and they think they're being healthy, but you're going to put on body fat doing that eventually. But greens, anything green, go for it. You can never go wrong with green. Money, vegetables, all of it.
His other question was, Pat, not to leave you out of this, but what's your number one indie pet peeve?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Maybe two. I could think of a million of them. Clapping before the bell rings, babyface, like, oh, I need to get this person in the match, and they start clapping.
I'm going to do that my next 2 matches for you.
That, and
that is really the only guy that I feel like pulled that off was Christian.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I don't know why. I think because he's such a funny guy, he just did it being cheesy to be funny. Yeah, that's what I really believe. Just knowing him from, so who the fuck is Reeves?
And I think not watching the matches before you, or repeating finishes on a show. That's kind of a pet peeve.
Wait, repeating finishes?
Yeah, I mean, I've been on many shows where there's been three fucking small packages, or three schoolboys. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I've seen that. I've been on shows before. It's like, oh, the first 2 matches were schoolboys.
Damn, that's a good piece of advice for wrestlers out there to kind of, if you're doing something in your match, especially like a finish, kind of go walk by and kind of check with everybody on what they're doing. It takes 2-3 minutes.
Never do a schoolboy. I feel like just get away from it. Do a different pin. Just don't do
every once in a while. It has its play. Every once in a while, but I mean, I get you've seen it all. So it was to you. Sorry, I jumped in.
No. And Rip Rogers had a good one where he would take any finish that happened before him and he'd try to use that in his match as a false finish. I'm like, that's kind of creative. I like that.
That's actually a really good. But then again, it depends. Like if it's a guy's finisher or.
It depends.
That's a different. Yeah. It's kind of a fine line on that, but I don't want to see every match doing a shell shock before kicking out before I go out for the main. Fuck me.
Next
because I'm
question.
290 pounds. That's why it works when I do it.
I got a question.
Cody Mada on Twitter. Question for both of us. A good way to round out the pecs.
You want to go ahead and touch on this first?
I think so. Ironically, I've just been learning. I've been doing a lot of research on YouTube Red lately. I sign up
on rounding your pecs out.
Yeah, I never really knew. Well, here's why. Okay, so
I don't have blown away by this right now.
I don't have any cuts like between connecting to my armpit. I feel like I lack in that area. Like I have a decent, you know what I mean? Like
I don't know. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Almost like
you're in great shape, Pat.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Almost like my lower pec. I could get more of a lift, and I was studying the different. I didn't know this till like literally 2 weeks ago. The different muscles, like I was aware incline worked your upper chest, and bench press was more like your middle chest. But I've been trying to learn exercises, keeping your elbows in on like cable crossovers to really target that area between your armpit and your chest to give it more of a lift. And that's been helping me learning the 3 different muscle groups of the chest and targeting that area because it's kind of forgotten about, or at least from my workouts they were. Yeah.
I always would start my workouts, especially when and this has sucked being in this position with my shoulder being bad, and I have to kind of do machines right now that don't mess up my shoulder won't crack on. Incline movements tend to make my shoulder, it's not healed enough, that cartilage yet on an incline. And I've noticed my chest thickness has gone down more than anything since all this shoulder stuff has gone on. But incline movements will help you more than anything. But everybody, the muscle bellies that you are born with is a genetic thing. Like how your muscles grow when weight trained. A lot of that stuff is genetic. That's why it's really tough when you look at like magazines and you look at people and people are on steroids and this and that and stuff, and people are site injecting things into their muscles, oil to give them a rounder muscle belly. It's like, and it gives you this bad body image. Just work with what you got, man, and make it as fucking shredded and as big as possible. And like, if you don't have as big of an upper chest as some of the guys, who the fuck cares? At the end of the day, like, why the fuck loot? Just fucking be in shape, feel good about yourself. Don't worry about everybody else. I really think that like you can incline movements should always be do more incline movements than decline movements or regular movements. Still have the regular chest presses in there, but focus on the inclines to start off to give your chest a good balance, because the bigger your upper chest is, your chest will look more full. But some people just lack, like Kofi Kingston. Have you ever seen Kofi's chest?
Yeah, it's kind of
he has
flat.
He was just born with that. There's nothing he can do that's going to fix that outside of getting chest implants, which would fucking be hysterical if Kofi just showed up with a big full chest and had fake chest implants because he was worried about what everybody thought. Like, no, it's just you're genetically, everybody's different. So I do think switching up your exercises, like in knowing the different muscles. But again, if it's a genetic thing, some people, have you ever seen guys, great upper bodies, and they just have the smallest calves?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of, they genetically don't have big calves. It's just, it's something, or they have super skinny legs. Everybody has that body part or body parts that are just genetically inferior to everything else. So it's the way things are. It's just be in the best shape you can be, and we all want what we can't have.
All right, so we got 4 more questions, and we got to get to our main event real quick.
Feed me more questions, Pat.
I got a question.
Hebon on Twitter: when eating ground turkey during keto, is it better to go 99% lean with 1% fat, or get some more fats in there by getting the 85%?
The 85% tastes way better. We all know that. But if you're, it depends where you're at in the keto diet. And if you find yourself holding on to body fat at a sticking point, and you got to switch it up to that leaner turkey. If you find that you're a little sluggish and your energy levels aren't what they should need to be, then maybe doing the 85, or doing a mix of both, having one meal at the 85 and a couple at the 99. It's all everybody's different, so I can't. No matter what I say, I'm not going to know for sure. But those are just off the top of my head. It depends where you're at in the diet and how your fat burning is going on it.
Next question from Lay John D on Twitter: characters aside, on average, how many years of training do you think? Do you guys think it would take until someone is a competent, safe wrestler?
Well, fuck, I'm this far in my career and I have no fucking clue. According to the fucking dirt sheets. I mean, don't even fucking start. Just fucking find another career, buddy.
I think you need a good solid year of training to be. I always tell my guys, because I get people that come, they go, "Well, how long will I train till I get my first match?" And I go, "Well, if you train really hard, after 3 months, you'll be able to have a really, really shitty match." That's kind of what I tell people.
It depends. It depends on the school and everything. I feel like it depends. Some people. If you train 12 hours a day every day for a month, you could pick up a lot on this shit. It's not rocket science, but there are some things that just take time in there. I always said, I was gonna bring this up to you earlier in the show, actually, that the best thing any wrestler can do, and I'm a big fan of this, and I did it this week in Australia. So the go home of a match, when the comeback starts. I'm a big believer that the way matches are structured now, it's really the way all the other matches are going. It's good to call all that in the back and play, because it's hard to do that on the fly when you're moving out there, bumping and feeding and near falls and all that. That I feel like is something that you can really kind of, unless you're just doing something where you're really cool with the guy and you guys, it's kind of a simpler match. But especially if you're a main event where you're trying to outdo other people, you need to plan that part of the match. But the rest of it, do it on the fly. The quicker you learn to wrestle on the fly, I feel like the better you'll be in the long run. And
okay.
That's why, and again, I always say Rusev and Seth are two of my favorite opponents. And you know why they're two of my favorite opponents? Because they were cool with going in there and doing the part of the match on instinct and just acting and reacting. And
so everything pretty much except, when
go
you start
home.
getting, okay.
The comeback on, which is because you're going at such a pace. And I did it this week, and there were a couple little flubs early on the first night with the guy because he didn't hear a couple things. And I'm telling you, it makes wrestling fun. Vince always says wrestling is fun. I told you when I got up there, when you plan everything out, it gets boring after a while. It really does. But but everybody else is doing it, and you don't want to. And you hear Austin talking about this on his podcast and you go back and watch that Attitude Era Wrestling. Those guys are probably having a blast in there because they're figuring this. Because that's the real part of wrestling. That's why old school wrestlers don't relate to what's going on today, is because we're planning everything A to Z. I'm telling you. And it's not always as interesting, but it's way more fun for the performer when you go out there and just figure it out. And that's how you get. I feel like that's what's missing from some people today, and some of the indie darlings and the top level talent in WWE. They know how to do it. And I'm still, again, not everything goes fucking perfect every time, but it's just way more fun from a wrestler standpoint to do that, in my opinion. So I think to answer his question, everybody's different, man, and I do think the biggest thing to know when wrestling is that you're dealing with another human being's life in your hands when you're out there, and that has to be respected at all times.
2 more questions real quick.
You did not hear anything I just said.
No, I heard it. Mr. Pio.
Texting Chadwicks.
Mr. Pio, my PR personal record, I guess, is 180. Dude, we're Americans. I don't know this scale.
Is it kilogram? Is 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds, Pat.
It says 180, but then it's like something 20 kilograms on bench. Oh, I guess he's telling us the weight. 180 pounds.
Okay.
If I took Wake Up Unlimited Energy, would I get to 40? I have to wait until Amazon UK to try it. That's all he put. But he writes a lot, so I wanted to ask the question.
Yeah. No, not instantly. It's not. It can give you more energy. That's quite 20 kilograms to 40 kilograms is quite the jump. It will give you more energy. I think if you took it, it would help you lift more than you are, especially if you lack in energy and whatnot. But it's not meant to make you stronger. It's just meant to give you more energy, which could make you stronger. But I would never make those claims with that. So. It takes time. It's having energy and every week trying to improve it little increment by little increment, even if it's 2.5 pounds a week, just small improvements every week.
Last question from Elda Pablo.
I got a question.
Nutrition question. How long do you wait to eat carbs after you've eaten fats and vice versa?
I personally like to wait at least 3 hours.
3 hours. Okay.
Yeah. That to me is the ideal time. Every once in a while I've done 2. But I feel like 3 for me is, and that's not a scientific answer. That's just what I do, and it's worked well for me. So 3 is kind of the happy zone for me.
And we're out of questions, so I'm going to ring the old Belsky.
Let's go ahead and take our final break and come back with our main event tonight of things UFC can do to increase buy rates. We'll be right back, guys.
Hey everyone, in addition to being the co-host of this podcast, I'm the founder and promoter of WrestlePro. Dare I say, WrestlePro puts on the best professional wrestling live events in the country. We're also fully insured and licensed. Now if you're listening to the show, then you clearly love professional wrestling, and I appreciate that. But I also have a question for you. Would you like professional wrestling in your area, maybe in your hometown, your high school, your college, your civic center, your stadium? Whatever you want. If you're a civic group, a sports team, a fire department, a police department, if you have a corporate event, a festival, any group that is looking to raise funds or put on an entertaining show, WrestlePro is your promotion. This is not your regular wrestling show. Just in the last year, WrestlePro has brought in incredible talent such as Terry Funk, DDP, Booker T, Ryback, Cody Rhodes, Hornswoggle, Colt Cabana, Brian Cage, Jeff Jarrett, Tommy Dreamer, the Hardy Boys, Scott Steiner, and much, much more. Even the Nature Boy Ric Flair has been with WrestlePro and loves it. Tell him, Nate.
It's the Nature Boy. Woo! Ric Flair, WrestlePro, the Nature Boy, signing autographs. Look as only can look.
WrestlePro, be there. Woo, 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 woo. Limousine riding, jet flying. Woo, WrestlePro. Woo.
If you're seriously interested, WrestlePro can bring a live wrestling show to your town. A full professional wrestling card complete with talent, 8 matches, sound system, lighting, the works. We design the artwork and posters. We help you sell the tickets. We push all of our events all over our social media. We believe in good repeat business. Packages and prices vary on talent requested and their availability. For more information, contact me directly at WrestleProOnline@yahoo.com or simply check out www.WrestleProOnline.com and you can see our past and upcoming events to get a taste of what WrestlePro is all about. I hope to hear from you soon. Do you enjoy a crisp, refreshing soft drink but hate choosing between the empty calories and the artificial sweeteners? Well, now you don't have to, thanks to Zevia. With Zevia, you don't have to worry about any potential harmful side effects since they have no caramel coloring and use the natural plant-based sweetener stevia. Zevia offers 14 different flavors of soda, 4 flavors of sparkling wine, and 4 different energy drinks. That gives you a ton of safer and delicious options for you to enjoy. It's the safest soft drink on the market, made with ingredients you'd find in your own kitchen. There's nothing artificial in any of their products, and there isn't any calories either. It's a miracle. Now, Zevia is giving our fans a chance to try it yourselves for free. If you live in the U.S. or Canada, just head over to Zevia.com/podcast and sign up. They'll mail you a coupon to try a free 6-pack just like that. Go to Zevia.com/podcast now and get your free Zevia. Enjoy the show.
The following advertisement has been paid for by the big guy Ryback. Are you hungry? You know I'm so hungry, big guy. Hey, Mark, what brings you here? So I'm just here to hang out with my all-time favorite superstar of all time. What brings you here? Well, I'm doing a paid advertisement for Feed Me More Nutrition, available at feedmemore.com. Big guy, that is music to my ears. Did you tell the people about your Ice So Hungry grass-fed whey protein isolate, the best tasting protein on the market? Wake Up Unlimited Energy, the strongest pre-workout on the market, and the big guy, all-natural testosterone booster, my personal fave. Big guy, you're on to something with this Feed Me More Nutrition. It is some top quality stuff. Well, thank you, Mark, it is. Feed Me More Nutrition, premium, quality, the highest quality supplements on the market today. Available now at feedmemore.com. But wait, there's more. Just for being a listener of Conversation with the Big Guy, you can now save 10%. That's right, save 10% at feedmemore.com on all Feed Me More merchandise and apparel and Feed Me More Nutrition with discount code PODCAST10. 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 Thank you, guys.
And we're back, and before we get to the main events, I forgot to mention before, but we have a new Conversation with the Big Guy t-shirt, real simple design.
Oh, yeah?
Based on the, well, I showed you it before, and you were quite the fan of it.
Well,
the CW.
Well, no shit, Pat. I'm just trying to hype it.
For acting gigs, book the Big Guy.
Yeah. Nick Marchetti.
CWTBG. I always say PG. It just falls off. Cool little shirt. You can check out. It's on my Twitter at Buck Never Stops. But it'll be on the WrestlePro website. An original Rybucker shirt. Real simple logo. And if you order it, maybe I'll call you. Maybe I'll Facebook you. But we can chat. I can steal the old gimmick from old Conrad and his crew. So those will be up soon.
You could just keep all of that one because I have the one up on my Amazon, and I don't know when people buy it or not. But I have.
Oh, really?
I do a fair amount of shirts on Amazon, and I'm trying to look. I'm waiting to hear back from my guy.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe there's a way. If I could see it, it would be great to know. I have no way. I just see the total number of shirts that are sold, and I don't know which one. But if so, that could balance out maybe that way. You'll probably do way more than I do on there.
So send me all the money. Hit me up, WrestlePro Online, or just say, hey, Pat, I need a shirt, and I'll get one to you.
They do 3XLs?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Cool. I'll take one.
I'll get you one. I'll hook you up. Don't worry about that.
He'll come out of my payday. Pat, why is I'm $20 short on my for the show? Oh, yeah, it's for the shirt.
It's for the shirt. Main event time.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following segment is your main event of the podcast.
Here we go. So the premise of this, I don't know if you want to say this more, ideas UFC can take to increase buy rates?
Yeah, because last week we talked, and you were saying that they were the buy from the new buyers. They're doing great numbers still, but for what they put into it, they need to increase pay-per-view buys, right?
Absolutely, 100%.
And that kind of triggered the idea of, well, wrestling does all these different gimmick matches. What if UFC did gimmick fights? And I'm not saying that they have to, that this per se, but maybe it will trigger something, another promotion or something to kind of, where the fights are still real. Everything, nothing, you don't take that element out of it. You just create stories. And that's what this is about. And it's a way for us to have fun. And that, things UFC can do to increase buy rates.
So my list is a lot shorter than yours. I think you put a lot of heavy thought into this, but I have different things from all different angles. So do you want to start us off with an idea or two?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and just start this off. I'm just going to go ahead. I didn't put these in any specific order, but I do know what I'm going to do for my last two. I'm going to go ahead and the first one is a parking lot brawl where... Wait, why are you laughing?
Because I thought they were all serious. We start off with a parking lot brawl. Okay, let's go.
Okay, again, you're thinking wrestling, but you have to understand, this is a real fight. So UFC, third fight on the card. Guys, all right, Frank Mir versus fucking Brock Lesnar. This is, Brock got the better of him in this fight and beat him for the champion. They're going to do a parking lot brawl. Anything goes in the parking lot. And you pan to the back and you still got the fucking referee. Everything, but in a parking lot, Pat, and it's just a fucking fight. Real.
Okay, but question is it more like just concrete all around? Do we have an octagon in a parking lot, or is it like WCW?
This is like WCW where Fit fucked up his leg and like it's in the parking lot. Yeah, if you have some fucking like the Cena Eddie Guerrero cars all around, I want things out there that they could use.
Okay, I love it.
It's a real. This is so you got. The fighters obviously agree to this beforehand, and it's all about making money. Everybody makes more money, Pat, and it's entertainment with real fighting. It one-ups wrestling by. It's just there's no way you can go wrong with this.
So they have to beat the shit out of each other, but it just happens.
But maybe they're in a parking lot. Maybe it ends in a minute with a fucking chokehold. I don't know, but they have options. That's all I'm saying.
Okay,
and that as we the viewer, we tune in for those options.
Now, do they wear full gloves? Do they go, how's this, any details or no?
I always believe, again, it's real fighting, so I would, but you're in a parking lot, so I'd probably have a pair of jeans and have my fist fucking taped up with some wrist tape on. That's just me personally.
Okay. My first idea, not quite out there like that, was maybe naming the pay-per-views instead of numbers. It works for, they just had Cormier and Jones. But instead, that'll work. I still don't remember what number it was. And they're going to keep going forward. And I won't remember what it is. Maybe a name once in a while, especially on the ones that need help. Just so they stand out a little bit more. That's just what I think.
That's a great idea, Pat. I don't have that on my sheet, and I am ashamed of myself. This
Parking lot brawl. It's pretty good, though.
The numbers are very irrelevant, I feel like, outside of maybe the 200 or 100, the big ones.
Yeah.
Even then, you don't remember. They don't live that the number never really lives on.
Never. It's only cool when you get to a milestone. It's like, all right, we're at 500. That's all UFC. But it's like, oh, I'm going to watch UFC. No one says, oh, I'm going to watch UFC 216 tonight. Like,
yeah,
it's just kind of lame.
Like, it would be cool if they did, and they would build it up. If Brock came back to fight John Jones in UFC, Here Comes the Pain, whatever the fuck.
Yes,
like, something to build it around. Like, whatever the fuck it is, which WWE will trademark that tomorrow. But it's no.
But
great idea.
Even if they had recurring things like like WWE does, that's a good concept. Like, oh, we know SummerSlam's coming up, UFC Summer Showdown. I don't know, fucking. That way you build the brands.
UFC Mania, brother.
UFC Fighters Mania. I'm trying to think of something.
But I get where you're going with this. This is not a bad idea. Does Bellator do that at all or no?
I don't think so. I think they use numbers. I could be wrong, or they just have their main. I think for their pay-per-views, they don't have as many events, so they just rely on what the main fight is. But if you have Summer Showdown, you've built it up. It almost doesn't matter who's fighting on your card because you've built that one up. It does matter, but like it will help you a little bit.
That's good. Like if Bellator brought it, and I lose 100 pounds to fight Punk in Bellator. And we call it Bellator feeding time because immediately after the fight, I need to fucking eat because I just lost 100 pounds. No, great idea.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, I'll go 2. You got less than me here. I'll do 2 on this one.
Yep.
Another idea is, again, a first blood fight where the first fighter to draw blood is the winner. And they know this. It's just creating – it's still real fights, all that. Nothing is scripted, but that's the stipulation for that particular matchup. And you have regular matchups and for the purist and all that, but you have these special attraction matches that maybe get you a few extra buys. That was one of the ideas. One of my favorites on this that I told you should start your own promotion, and we will start this, is the old handicap fight 2-on-1, where you put in a fighter against 2 maybe smaller guys, and where it is just a freak show. But it's a real fight still, but it's a handicap match. And you think, well, those 2 guys don't stand a chance, but you got to tune in to watch.
And they must be smaller guys compared to the original fighter, right?
Yeah, you can't. You build it up. It's all about just selling tickets, man. But with real fights, paying it off. It's just doing pro wrestling in a different way.
See, I wonder if the commission varies from different states where they could allow stuff like that. I'm sure there's not a commission in every state.
If they could look at the 2 guys, they'll fucking approve it. We're not talking about 2 top contenders here, Pat.
The next idea I had was UFC customizing theme songs instead of having.
Okay, man.
I'm a goddamn businessman. No, but you know what? It's cool with a couple people that they pick their, like, I like Conor McGregor's, whatchamacallit. His song goes into Notorious. It starts off with The Foggy Dew, which is a famous Irish folk song. That's kind of cool, but a lot of the fighters, man, they pick some shitty songs. Like,
I've noticed that over the years. It's hit or miss. You never know what you're going to get.
And it's even like Brock used Enter Sandman last fight. It's very random, but if you're going to do that, why not make some, like I said, the focus is money. Why not customize some theme songs and people would download it? Why not go in that direction instead of paying the rights for the songs they use, which I'm pretty sure they do. You are,
Pat, your 2 answers, your 2 things have blown mine away already on just for them making money.
Yeah.
This is son of a bitch. I was thinking only matchup wise. I wasn't even thinking. This is why I'm the wrestler and you're the promoter. This is clearly holy fuck. What a fucking rude awakening. God. I'm just listening to this and I'm like, of course, why haven't we done this yet? It's brilliant, Pat.
Thank you.
All right. My next 2 is a no DQ, no disqualification fight, anything goes, where the old UFC rules kind of come back into play, which is harder to get sanctioned.
Yeah.
Again, it's just an idea, though. Maybe that's a smaller promotion that gets away with it. It's just something maybe to settle a score with 2 fighters. It's something along the lines of that. And my next one is, I don't know if I've seen this yet or not. Maybe you have. A special referee fight where we get a special referee to be brought in where he goes through the proper training and he's legitimate for the fight, but where it's a special attraction, you bring in a certain person for this fight.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I could see that. I don't know. They haven't done that. That's not a thing, I guess.
No, only in fake fighting.
Yeah, only in fake fighting.
Shawn Michaels just with his short tights just comes in and he referees Brock versus Jones. Just fucking do it.
The next one I had was I think that, not to knock them, but 95% of MMA fighters cannot talk. They have no microphone ability whatsoever.
That's not their job, though, in all fairness. It's not.
It's not. But if you think that it's a big part of it, like, Chael Sonnen does, I think John Jones is pretty good. Connor, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of people that are very good at it and can talk a lot of smack. But maybe some of them might actually, maybe it's worth hiring a couple wrestlers to have promo classes with some of these fighters. That was one of the ideas. I don't know if I like it anymore. I'm throwing it out there.
No, it's not. I think it's one of those things that fighters are fighters, but there's so many people that relate it back to pro wrestling that it definitely won't hurt you. And now that they do interview you, and everybody is a brand and whatnot. So knowing, and Connor's the best example of this. Look at him. I mean, and he's a phenomenal fighter, but he knows what he's doing when he has a microphone in front of him.
And for some, the promos don't work for them, and they don't need them. Ronda didn't have to speak at all. Certain guys don't have to, but certain ones are put in that situation, and then you just listen to them, and you kind of check out. You're like, or.
I get it. You know what Vince was always big on is doing promos in front of a mirror where you could see yourself. And I always said, for me, it's driving in my car or my truck. I think if you could do a promo at a stoplight and with cars next to you and look like a madman talking, that you're doing all right.
Okay.
It's a comfort thing. It's all that it is.
Yeah.
So,
what do you got?
I'm very impressed by your list, Pat, on all of this.
Thank you.
I got all fighting stuff now. My next match is my fight, I should say, is a submission only fight, where only submissions can get you the victory, and it limits the fighter. There's no striking essentially. It's more of a grappling contest, but that's what you're watching going into it. So maybe you get two of the top grapplers, and you want to see who can outdo the other. Just creating different matchups that you're going to see from the rest of the card, so to speak. This next one is quite the doozy, the old blindfold fight, where we take this pro wrestling element, and maybe it's just, but it's a real fight. So this is what you got to understand. You blindfold both competitors, and where it just, who wouldn't want to see two blindfolded men trying to kick each other's ass?
It's got to be a real blindfold, not like...
Yeah, well, you can't gimmick it. This isn't where it's fucking... It's
Rick Martel and
this is
Jake
real
Roberts.
fighting. This is... And again, these don't have to be the greatest ideas in the world, but who wouldn't pay to watch two blindfolded men? I wonder who'd kick the other one's ass if they can't see. Like, because you're going to see a fucking clean shot somewhere. I'm telling you, there's money in that. But again, you got to get the fighters to agree to this and to get sanctioned. But that was my other one.
I like how everything's matches. I must have misinterpreted this. I thought it was just how do we get UFC money, and I just was trying to think of stuff that way.
No, you probably took it the right way. I am solely looking at it from a fighter's standpoint of just in the ring only of wrestling gimmicks that have worked in wrestling. That if they work in wrestling and you put a real fight at the end of it, it'll work in that too.
This one's really off the rails, but we have Sign Girl. This is equal opportunist. I think the big gay Ryback would be a fan of this one. So we have the Sign Girls that come out for for the male fights. We should have Sign Guys for the women fights.
We're trying to increase pay-per-view buys, Pat.
Hey, you just have a couple muscular dudes in board shorts with the round cards for the women fights, and that way it's an equal showing.
Look, as long as they're all shaking their ass, everyone's happy. No, that might be your worst idea yet, but I mean, it's
definitely is.
You're thinking. You're thinking that's a good thing. All right, yeah, Big Gay Ryback, super huge fan of that idea, though. Yeah, I might sign up for that if I can.
What a great job! I would love that job.
You just go out with a goddamn number. Fuck.
Yeah. Sit down, wave at the camera, watch a couple girls fight.
Oh, what the life that is. There's a lot of them here in Vegas. I've dated half of them. All right, next one. One arm tied behind your back fight. This is one where maybe it's one of those deals where the one guy has gotten the better of a guy maybe in two fights, And this is the third one where we even the score a little bit, where we're like, okay, you're fucking way better than this guy. You're going to beat him now with one arm tied behind your back. And we see if he can. And if he can't, then we do another fight where it's anything goes, and then he kicks his ass again, and he gets his steam back. So just creating matchups, guys. That's what I'm doing over here. Don't hate me for this.
My final idea has
Hold
some
on.
merchandise.
I got four more.
Sorry.
I got four more, Pat.
Okay.
I don't want you to. I feel like you've had so much better ideas than me on this. So, another idea: brass knuckles on a pole fight.
Come on.
What do you mean? Come on. You explain the match beforehand. You put a goddamn pole in the octagon.
Where do you put the pole? In the middle of the octagon?
Not a bad idea. I was going to put it on one of the top corners, and where they had to get up. But then you're creating a story, Pat, with a real fight. That if you can get those goddamn brass knuckles and punch the guy, you're going to fuck him up. Who wouldn't pay to see that?
It's true.
This is what you got. I'm creating different dynamics of a real fight that are outside of just a real fight.
The big guy fighting league's a little dangerous too. Fucking
There's definitely going to be people killed in my fighting league.
Parking lot, insurance premiums.
Insurance, this is
through the roof.
I'm going to have to be very, very well off to get this started, Pat. All right. This is another one. This is a regular fight. This might be more down your alley, what you're looking for.
Okay.
Regular fight, everything is sanctioned in UFC rules. Everything is on the up and up, but the loser shaves his head fight.
I like that. I like that.
I just think it's one of those, you just create something, you just make it interesting. Well, I'd like to see that guy bald. What more humiliating thing? You get your ass kicked, and then you got to fucking get your head shaved afterwards. It just takes pro wrestling to another level.
It's got to be with two guys that have an impressive head of hair, though.
Well, yeah, you can't do two goddamn bald guys, Pat.
Yeah, you can't do a Fedor and then someone else. You need like a, longer haired gentleman.
I want guys with long locks in this match that love their hair. Yeah. And you throw that pro wrestling element in. But all right, let's go ahead and go. Before I give my last one with you, another one is a loser leaves town match or fight, where if they lose that fight, they can never fight in that town again. Pat,
just that town, not
just
the
that
promotion?
town.
I don't think they'd care.
Huh? It doesn't matter.
Vegas, they would care.
Yeah, if you can never fight in Vegas again, it's goddamn. You're losing out on some huge paydays. So
like never again. They could never be reinstated.
No, this is real. It's not wrestling. You can't break the rules.
Gotcha.
They'd have to fight. UFC's in Chicago, New York. There's plenty of other places they go to. So yeah, that's just another idea.
Okay.
Is your last one really good?
I think so. It makes sense, and I don't know why they do it. Well,
All
I
right.
kind of know why.
I'll give my last one before yours then, because I feel
Okay.
like yours is getting much more benefit out of this. There's a few of mine they might be able to use, but a lot of these are just pro wrestling elements. My last one, I like this again, would be perfect for a CM Punk fight. Let UFC let him fight again, but it's a retirement fight where the loser has to retire from fighting. You can never fight again with a sanctioned league or in that promotion, so to speak.
Yeah.
Where it's then you're going to increase the buy rates for that fight because you're going to, oh, shit, I want to see if this is the last time he's ever going to fight here. So just an idea that I think that could be used to make money.
Very cool. My last idea.
You hate all my ideas.
No, I liked it. Parking Lot Brawl is one of my favorite ones. I didn't know it was all matchup.
I should have saved that one for the end. I didn't even. Fuck.
The last one I have has to do with merchandise because UFC used to be where you used to have your own sponsorships. Some people had, Tap Out, and some had, well, I don't know if Tap, that was a long time ago, but like Death Clutch or, Sprawl, whatever thing you'd come out with, and then they sold the rights to Reebok.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I already like where you're going with this.
And they that the Reebok fucked a lot of people over.
Yeah.
And UFC did that. I know why they did that. They did it so they could collect the money themselves and have that money from the deal they got. And the fighters still get paid, but they're getting way less than what they would have got on their own. But it's like, why not just not do that, eliminate that completely, and have them wear their own merch? Like, not their own merch, UFC merch for them.
Yeah. UFC creates the merch like WWE does.
Yeah, because
And
they
then
have a
gives
lot
them
of
like
merch.
80 cents per $30 shirt.
Yeah, like
Sorry, I
fair
didn't say
deal.
that out loud. Yeah, or a dollar, whatever the fuck it is. Yeah.
But if you really think, that's probably way more money than they honestly get from Reebok. I'm willing to believe. But it's like...
Or give them a balanced deal where it's a little more balanced. But
I went to UFC.com before to look, and I'm like, wow, they have a lot of cool shirts. You would never know it because they come to the ring wearing the Reebok shit. Who cares about that stuff? With all due respect, no one's buying that. You know, I don't think people are really buying the shoes, maybe.
Yeah. The only thing I could think of, I don't know what that deal was, what they paid UFC for that.
I don't think that's public knowledge. I'm not sure if it is.
No, but like I don't
is.
know if it was such a number where they go, well, that's more than what we can make it on our own. But I would tend to think that if they make their own merchandise and then came out with a deal where they give the performer a certain percentage, which would hopefully be fair, that they could far outdo that, which doesn't seem that far off. I feel like they could do that. So
I think they took the money because before they had the sale. Not that they were very mom and pop, but they had the same owners are like, oh, we can try to fix this or just take this money. They elected to take this money, but I think long term with the new company, you know, Conor McGregor should come out wearing a Conor McGregor shirt from UFC. Like everyone should have their own stuff, and you could see it and go, oh my God, because you don't see a lot of, outside of Roots of Fight, which is a great clothing company, you don't see really people wearing anything from like you don't see that stuff.
No.
So it's just I think they get on that stuff, you know.
Well, I think it's safe to say you're probably going to be working for the UFC in some capacity here in the future, Pat, on the promotional aspect of it. So this podcast has been fun. Hopefully we get one more episode out of it before they fucking grab you.
Well, hope so. That'd be I'm open to all negotiations. We'll see.
Just me by myself drinking, doing a podcast. I would get such a shitty fucking replacement for you too. It would. I'm trying to think of who I would get. It would be so shitty. Fuck. That's all I got this week. But what about you, Pat?
That's it. Buck Never Stops on all platforms, and get the new T-shirt on WrestleProOnline.com.
At Ryback22 on Twitter, the big guy Ryback22 on Instagram, Ryback247 on Snapchat. You have just listened to another episode of Conversation with the Big Guy.